Welcome to a rain-soaked Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Pac Lopez here. So's the band, so are the Packers, and so are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2-0 meets 0-2. It's the NFL on Fox for you today from Lambeau Field. And now welcome to the booth. I'm Joe Buck along with Troy Aikman, and here are the Tampa Bay Bucs. They're 2-0, and it's one thing to be 2-0. It's another to do it the way they've done it, and that is by running the ball, pounding it, and that great defense. They look like they're for real. Well, they really do, Joe, and I think if you go back to last season, John Gruden said this team was much better than what their record would have indicated at 5-11. And you talk about this defense, they have done a great job of stopping the run, and the reason that they've played so well primarily is because they've been healthy. And now you look at the offensive side of the ball, Cadillac Williams and his ability to run the football, he has definitely given this Tampa Bay offense a spark. On the other side, you've got Green Bay, and they seemingly are in a little bit of a transition mode with their franchise. They're 0-2. They're here at home, which in years past meant great things, but the last 10 games at home, they're 4-6. What's going on here? Well, they've really struggled here at home. There's no question. And if you're going to be a good team, you have to win at home. And if they're going to do that today, they've got to get a little bit more production on the defensive side of the ball. They've been good against the run. They've been atrocious against the pass. And then you look at the other side of the ball, they have not done a good job running the football. When you go back to the years that they've had their most success, Amon Green, Najee Davenport, and their ability to pound people and put people away in the fourth quarter, that has been lacking here in Green Bay in recent weeks. And they're really still trying to figure out what kind of a team they are as they play here in the third game of the season. On the other side, you know the guys. You got Derek Brooks for the Tampa Bay Bucs and a new guy, Cadillac. They are getting ready to go. Tampa Bay, Green Bay. It's all yours right here on Fox.
You ready to go to Green Bay? We got a full tank of gas, and it's 1,400 miles to Green Bay. And we're wearing sunglasses.
Sounds like we're ready.
Hit it.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Rethink TV.
I'm getting something special for Donna.
Special, huh?
If it's something that blows up, I'll go halfsies.
It's that 70s gift of romance.
Oh, my God.
It's a promise ring.
Promise ring is be together forever.
Wait, that's what I promised?
He gave her the ring. Will she give him the finger?
Where's your ring?
Oh, I put it on a chain so I could wear it around my neck.
That 70s show.
Oh, Super Burn, the wedding's off.
Tomorrow at 5 on Fox 25/48. There's still time to join the Ford family. Until October 3rd, you can still get the same low prices our employees and their families pay for Ford trucks. Just announced, get up to $1,000 clearance cash on 2005 Ford F-Series and Ranger. With clearance cash, drive the highest-ranked light-duty pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power Ford F-150 for just $24,466, or the best-selling Ford Ranger for just $18,685. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Ford family to yours. Welcome. And now, a night-like moment.
She's bald!
In ball.
What do you think I mean, bald? Bald! Bald ball!
She's bald.
She's bald, Jerry!
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on? No, come on! She took off her hat, and there she was. Hello! It's like I was looking at myself in the mirror.
Monday at 9 on Fox 25/48. Big Ten football Saturday. Illinois takes on Iowa. Big Ten football next Saturday on Fox 25/48.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Pro football. A game for the ear and the eye. A 3-hour carnival of color, sound, and action.
NFL Sunday Ticket provides the most NFL games anywhere, up to 200 in total, and it's only available from DirecTV.
For the player, victory makes the game glorious. For the fan, Glory is the game.
Sign up now and get 4 free months of DirecTV's best programming package. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Okay, you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's the new Schick Quattro Midnight. Its 4 blades give you an incredibly close shave, keeping you smooth into the night. The new Schick Quattro Midnight. The power of 4.
Michael Schofield went into prison to break his brother out.
If I'm not through that wall by the end of the day, we're not getting out of here.
But even the best laid plans
All right, that's it! Lock down!
can go terribly wrong.
Our wing has been breached.
Fox tomorrow.
Where's my daughter?
We have everything under control, Governor.
For your sake, I hope you do.
Don't miss the most explosive episode of the season.
Yes, man. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Prison Break. All new at 9/8 Central tomorrow on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
Epidemic breaks out in Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
Will a miracle cure ever be found?
You sit in this oatmeal a while and it'll send your itchies packing.
Homer Oates.
The Simpsons, all new at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox.
Look at that, 66 degrees. It's cool. It's rainy. It was pouring about an hour ago. It stopped for the moment. The showers are going to roll in and roll out. And overall, it's just a damp day. You ready to roll up your sleeves and get dirty here today, Dr. Aikman?
Absolutely. I think, you talk about the weather and who that's going to impact exactly. I know that me personally, I never had much success throwing the football in wet conditions, but I know Brett Favre certainly has, and Brian Greasy, he's accustomed to it as well, both playing in Denver and then, of course, in college at Michigan.
How about the storyline? Something that at least I typically forget about as the game wears on. But at least going in, these are the numbers. The Packers have not started 0-3 since 1988. Brett Favre was a sophomore at Southern Miss at the time. The Bucs have lost 13 straight to the Packers here at Lambeau Field. 1989, the last time they headed back to Florida with a victory. And the Packers 10-10 overall their last 20 home games. And as we said, 4-6 here at Lambeau over their last 10, and that's nuts. I mean, that's hard to believe.
That's the thing that's most surprising, and I think that's the thing that's most disappointing, both to Brett Favre and Mike Sherman and the rest of this Green Bay Packer team, that they've not been able to win here at Lambeau Field.
So the question marks are swirling around the Green Bay Packers. How good are they really? Are they an 0-2 type team? Can they get a victory here today? Can they try to make some noise in what seems to be a watered down division? They started 1-4 last year and they ended up in the playoffs. Can you ever say the word playoffs and not think of Jim Mora?
I can't.
Playoff. All right, here we go. Green Bay will start with the ball. Bryant slipped a little bit. And it's a short kickoff. Good catch by Davenport, but he can't stay on his feet. Davenport is out to the 30. And Brett Favre, he loves to line it up here at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 11-0 is completion percentage, touchdowns to interceptions. That's all great. But if you look at his last 7 against Tampa Bay overall, he's 3-4 with 5 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. And he told us that this is the best he's ever seen the Tampa Bay defense play. So good luck. Amon Green lowers his shoulder and picks up 2. And let's set the rest of the offense. You know, Brett Favre and Troy, I guess the question marks are at the guard positions for the Green Bay Packers. That's been the big change from a year ago.
Well, I know there's been a lot of attention paid to both Adrian Clem and Will Whitaker as far as their performance in the first 2 games, but really across the entire offensive line, they've had their share of problems. That's an area that's going to have to play well today in order for them to have a chance against Tampa.
And they're really going to miss Bubba Franks, a good blocking tight end. Pass is caught by Ferguson. And a first down for Green Bay. Bubba Franks is out with a bruised knee. Made over 80 consecutive starts and he's not in there, and that will impact the running game as well as the passing game. This Buccaneers defense, that's right, that's Chris Hovan. They tell me that's what he looks like. I don't remember him looking like that with Minnesota. The linebacker, Shelton Quarles, was the defensive player in the NFC from a week ago. And the secondary is very good. On first down, Amon Green is swallowed up and lost a yard. Quarles was right in the middle of it for Tampa Bay.
You know, we get a look at Green Bay offensively and some of the struggles that they've had, and I know there's a lot of attention paid to what they've not been able to do here in the first 2 games of the season, but I think you have to go back over the end of last year as well, and their inability to run the football. And you talk about what they've been able to accomplish in previous years. A big part of that is because they've been able to run the ball so effectively, and they're going to have to do it against 7-man fronts. Last week against Cleveland, Green Bay struggled doing so.
Minnesota with a quick 6-0 lead in their game against New Orleans. Favre is looking for somewhere to go and finally slings it. And I don't know how, but Robert Ferguson made the catch. 2 yards shy of a first down. And you talk about catching a fastball in your hands. Hello.
Well, and that's, with Brett Favre, he has thrown some interceptions here early in the season, and he's got 4 up to this point. But a big part of that is because he is trying to make plays, and he's having to force the ball because his receivers, when Javon Walker went down, they're not creating a lot of separation. You said it there. Ferguson did not have a lot of separation on that pass, but yet Brett Favre was able to get the completion.
Third down and 2. They hand to Green. Can they pick up the first down? They can. Green gets 3. They needed 2. Quarles on the tackle and another first down for the Packers.
This Tampa Bay defense has just played so well against the run, and they're a swarming defense, very aggressive up front. You talk about Chris Hovan being a part of this defense, and Greg Spires and Simeon Rice. Well, they've got depth this year as well, and so they're able to rotate a lot of players and keep these players fresh.
That was a big deal last year because they just collapsed in the fourth quarter, and their defense wore down. Green on a toss has some blocking in front of him, and Green is down to the 37, picked up 8. You talk about this defense for Tampa Bay, and we're seeing Green Bay move the ball on them. They've allowed a total of 80 rushing yards in the first 2 weeks. They've not allowed a touchdown while they've been on defense. And you look at some of the other numbers. Total yards per game, 198, and overall, they're the #1 defense in the NFL.
And that's the big one right there. They have not given up a touchdown yet this season.
Second down and 2. Handoff is to the fullback, and Henderson lost the ball. Picked up by Tampa Bay. And the Buccaneers will take over as Rondé Barber comes out of there with it. So here's Green Bay moving the ball. They hand to Henderson his first carry of the season. He gets hit. He loses the wet ball. Ryan Greasy and the 2-0 Bucs take over.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines with our $39 to $149 internet specials to 59 destinations coast to coast. Purchased by October 3rd.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Hawaii Ironman's 140-mile human blast furnace has scorched the circuitry of the world's fittest athletes, like pro triathlete Chris Lee.
In the 97 race, I was so dehydrated, my body just shut down with 50 meters left.
6 years of setbacks landed Chris at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. With a new hydration strategy in hand, Chris snapped the tape at the 2004 Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
I guess your stuff works.
And that's the stuff of legends.
Fox Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
One of the best in the business, Rondé Barber, comes away with a fumble. Henderson getting to carry it for the first time this season. Loses the wet football. And the Packers are now -6 in the plus-minus for the year. They're not going to get this play off. 1 second left. They just got it away, and Cadillac Williams carries it right up the gut and picks up 9. Let's go back and look at the fumble and see who forced it.
Well, it looked like Shelton Quarles, the linebacker, is going to be coming in. William Henderson gets stopped and piled up there, and it looked like as Shelton Quarles came in while he was standing up, he was able to get a hand in there and knock that one loose.
2nd down and 1. From Williams, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. There's something important to talk about with regard to Greasy, who has had a resurgence obviously with the Buccaneers. You look at Dan Benning, who grew up here in Green Bay, family season ticket holders, so what a thrill for the rookie out of Wisconsin. And it's been an offensive line that surprised everybody with how quickly they've come together. We've seen Greasy audible on the first 2 plays. They line up and run it with Williams, and Cadillac has a first down. It's surprising, Troy, that somebody as smart as Brian Greasy wasn't allowed to audible while he was with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, you know, some offenses, they just don't let you do much of that, and offensive coordinators take different approach. With John Gruden, he knows that Brian Greasy's a smart guy. He's been in a lot of different offensive systems, and he trusts him out there, much like he did when he was at Oakland there with Rich Gannon.
Pre-snap movement, and the first throw of the day is complete to Clayton. Wrestled out of bounds by Harris, a gain of 2. And let's look at this defense for Green Bay. They've played well, at least up front. Overall, they're the 22nd rated defense, but against the run, they're 7th best. The problem, Troy, and it's been this way now for the past year and a half, really when McKenzie started to moan and groan, is that their secondary just isn't any good.
Yeah, you wonder how much teams are actually trying to run the football against them because they are having so much success in the air.
2nd and 8. Back-to-back throws, trying to drop it off, and the pass incomplete for Carnell Williams. And a penalty flag comes in at the very end of the play. Ron Winter is our referee.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense number 59. 5-yard penalty. And a first down.
They get Niall Diggs, who's playing in his first game of the year.
Yeah, Niall Diggs, who missed all of preseason. That's the contact on Joey Galloway. He was running out to the flat. And then Joey Galloway, who was on the slant, and they collided.
Niall Diggs had a ligament tear in his knee during camp. Missed the preseason. Now here he is, game 3 with his first action of the season. Carnell Williams picks up nothing. Aaron Campman along with Williams. Corey Williams making the stop for Green Bay.
Of course, Carnell Williams, we talk about the rookie from Auburn. He's leading the National Football League in rushing after 2 weeks of the season, and he's been really impressive. I know you mentioned, Joe, the offensive line and how impressive they've been. A big part of that has been the play of Cadillac Williams and his ability to make people miss.
Cadillac is having a pit stop as Pittman takes over. And throwing on the run, incomplete. Great coverage by the rookie Hawkins. Pressured by Barnett on the play, and Hawkins got his hand in there to force the drop on the part of Joey Galloway.
Well, and that's what you've got to do within this system. You have to disrupt the timing of Brian Griese, and Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator, he dials up a blitz with Nick Barnett up the middle. Good coverage on the outside, not allowing Joey Galloway to bring that one in.
Boy, they love to see Mike Hawkins step up and play well. 3rd and 10. Blitz. Bucks pick it up, pick up a first down as the pass is complete to Clayton. Good for 21 yards.
Well, they had success on the previous play bringing Nick Barnett. They're going to blitz him again up inside. And as a result of that, they've got one-on-one on the outside with Michael Clayton. As you're going to see, you mentioned he's going against Michael Hawkins, the rookie. It's a little bit of a pick play there. It's a natural pick because of the design of the route. And they scrape off of Mike Hawkins, and that's why Clayton was able to get as free as he did.
Cadillac Williams will bounce it outside. Turn on the Jets, and he's wrestled down, picked up. It looked like 9. Ahmad Carroll on the tackle, and that isn't it, Troy, exactly what they say about Williams. He can bust it up inside. He's tough. He's fast. He's elusive. He's got everything.
Well, he really does. And if you watch here, here's what I'm impressed with is he starts to the outside. As soon as he realizes he's gotten as far as he can go, he plants his foot and he takes it up north and south and gets as much yardage as he can. That's rare to see in a young running back.
2nd down and 1. Williams again. They're going to ride Cadillac Williams, and he is brought down half a yard shy of a first down.
And the reason, Joe, that it is so rare to see in a young running back is because when you think about it, these young running backs coming out of college, typically they're just better athletes than the guys that they face in college, and they're so much faster than everybody that they tend to think that they can bounce everything and outrun everybody to the sideline. They get to the National Football League, they're playing against just as good an athlete, and they can't do it. Cadillac Williams, he realized that very early already in his career, and just a great physical runner.
3rd down and 1. They stick with a rookie, and Cadillac trying for extra yards, and we'll see where they mark him. He picked up 2. We got a first down. Al Harris on the tackle. And Cadillac almost gave up the first down to try to score the touchdown.
Yeah, as soon as you say he doesn't bounce it, he tried there, and he almost gave up the first down. But a good tackle in the open field by Al Harris, and that's something that this Green Bay defense is going to have to do throughout the entire day, is on contact, bring him to the ground.
1st and goal. Williams takes himself down as he slips to the 5. You and I talked about this game yesterday, and I said, well, the Green Bay secondary has been so bad, you think Griese and the Bucks are going to come out and try to throw it, and you were shaking your head the whole time. He said, when you got this kid and this running game working, just keep running.
They're going to make Green Bay prove to them that they can stop him. And I know this is a guy who hurt his foot last week in the second half of the ball game. He didn't practice all week. Concerned about how many carries he's had in the first 2 games, and yet here he is with 8 carries in the first quarter.
Play action. Griese on the move. Dumps it off for the touchdown. Galloway. Griese was close to the line of scrimmage, but he got rid of it evidently before he crossed it. And a touchdown puts Tampa Bay on top.
And this time it was good coverage. You look at Ike Hilliard in the slot, number 19. That's who Griese was looking for first. Nick Collins has good coverage on him, and Griese elects them to run outside of the pocket. He's then looking for Galloway, and you know, Hawkins has to make a decision. Do you come up and play Griese and keep him from scoring? And when he did, then Griese makes the throw into Joey Galloway.
First of the year for Galloway. 3rd of the year for Griese, and penalty flags fly on the extra point. So a 5-yard touchdown catch. Tampa Bay takes advantage of the turnover by Henderson. This one is obviously against Green Bay, and they'll assess it on the kickoff.
Defense, 12 men on the field during the extra point. Tampa Bay is elected to take the 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
0 0-2 meeting 2-0. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rolling. Are they going to get their first win in Green Bay since 1989? Galloway trying to help. 7-zip.
So what's different about Budweiser Select? Good question. First, we start with a blend of the finest hand-selected North American and Bavarian hop varieties picked straight from the vine. Then we take the time to brew Budweiser Select longer. So you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. So why settle for anything less? Be selective.
Assist. Just one of 120 not-so-standard features available on the all-new German-engineered Passat.
I'm here to show you how the new right guard extreme power stripe works. Let's say these guys are the power stripe.
Red Rover, we call Billy over.
And this guy's odor. But now it's 25% stronger because we supercharged the stripe with dry tech.
Red Rover, we call T-O-over.
Not want to be odor.
We call Javon over.
Yo, get more extreme, get right there.
A-Rod and the Yankees take on Manny and the Red Sox. It's the final weekend of Fox Saturday Baseball this week.
Fox NFL Sunday, sponsored by Budweiser Select. Brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective.
Brian Griese was the third quarterback on this Tampa Bay team last year. He got his shot during the season and did not miss. He led the National Football League in completion percentage. Just dumped one off to Joey Galloway for a touchdown. The Buccaneers lead 7-0. Najee Davenport from about the 3. And Najee, they're going to give him forward progress to the 20. All right, second chance for the Green Bay Packers. Here comes Brett, trailing by 7.
Dim sum or dumplings? Earn double rewards with Love the Double from Chase, no matter where or what you eat. Earn double on your Chase Rewards card. Double cash back, double travel points, double rewards. Double with coffee, double with tea. Earn double rewards with Love the Double from Chase.
Trimming a tree on game day, you say? With the NFL on Sprint, I still get the play-by-play.
Leaving this tree isn't something I chance, so I enjoy stats from my perch on this branch.
The boss asked us to prune the greenery, so I listen to highlights while I take in the scenery. Should your next climb up a pine make you quake? Enjoy what great bedfellows, trees, and football make!
Exclusive NFL content, only from the new Sprint.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. By Chase, now you can double rewards on everyday purchases. Love the double from Chase. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Hummer, check out the new H3, Hummer, like nothing else.
Brown County Courthouse. Some of the friendliest people in the United States live up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Everywhere you go, people are friendly. They're not going to be friendly or happy if the Green Bay Packers offense doesn't figure it out here soon. This is a big series for the Packers. They're going to go up top for Driver. A lot of contact. The penalty flag and a catch. Brian Kelly on Driver. They mark Driver down at the Tampa Bay 41. A 36-yard completion, but we'll see if this flag is on Driver or Kelly.
Joe, I initially thought the contact was on Brian Kelly. They ran a double move on the outside. The Green Bay Packers sidelines got upset. It looked like the call then was going to go against Driver, but the officials are getting together and discussing it now. We got Donald Driver outside. Brett Favre throws the pump on the outside.
Defense number 25. Penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
36-yard completion.
Good job of the officials getting together and discussing that one, because initially it looked like they were going to call Donald Driver for offensive pass interference, but they finally get the one-on-one matchup outside, and they want to be able to take advantage of that. One way that they're going to be able to score points today is by creating big plays, and that was one there.
You know, I wonder, and this is going to be a penalty on Donald Lee, a young tight end. He wanted to use that speed too soon.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
The question is, was Driver touched? Because when they threw the flags, Driver pops up here and takes off down the field, but they blew the play dead. You can see the official blowing the play dead, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to go back. They were to review that and say, well, the play continues, but I don't think he was touched.
Well, I don't think he was either.
Pressure on Favre, and he dekes the defense. He's got room to run, and he'll take it himself. Picks up 6, so he gets 5 of those yards back on the penalty to Donald Lee.
Well, Rondé Barber, he comes off the edge on a blitz. You're going to see him, and he thinks that Brett throws the ball as soon as he turns there, and you see him take off running, looking for the screen. Brett's able to keep the ball and pick up some yards. Rondé Barber was looking for the running back, trying to figure out where the ball had went.
71 over here on the left.
You can hear the official say 71 here on the left. That U71 package is in. Means Kevin Berry, an extra tackle is in, and Green goes forward for half a yard. JB on a game break. Hello, JB.
Hello, Joe Buck. Vikings looking for their first victory of the season, capitalizing off of a Saints fumble on the kickoff return. Dante Culpepper, first touchdown toss of the season. That one there, making it 7-0. It's now 10-0 Vikes. Well executed opening drive for Miami, capped by that Ronnie Brown 1-yard run. He had 23 yards on 5 carries. 7-3 Dolphins. Back to Joe Buck.
Top of that, you saw Tennessee with a 7-0 lead at St. Louis. 3rd down and 9. Favre drops it off. Henderson is fullback, won't get there. Quarles eventually on the stop. McFarland was the first to get there. And it will bring up 4th down, and they're in that in-between area. The Green Bay Packers are, where they may just go for it.
And if they do, I think it's a good decision. And they probably told Brett there on 3rd down that if they got any kind of yards there on the 3rd down, that they were going to go for it on 4th. And that's why, rather than try to force something, he comes underneath and picks up 3 or 4 yards and makes it manageable here on 4th down. Because if you punt it, you're only going to pick up, if it goes into the end zone, you're only going to pick up about 23 yards of field position.
4th and 5. Favre's going to go for it all. End zone touchdown. Ferguson. And the nice people of Green Bay are happy right now.
Well, when Javon Walker went down, Robert Ferguson looked at it as an opportunity for him to show that he could be a starter in this league. He just flat ran right by Jerron Bolden, and Brett Favre laid it out perfectly for the touchdown. Great call on 4th and short to take a shot into the end zone.
Ferguson gets his 2nd touchdown of the year. High snap, and the extra point is no good. Sander got it down, but the snap took off from Rob Davis. Favre's not thinking about the extra point right now. He's thinking about a 4th and 5 and a 37-yard touchdown completion to Robert Ferguson. Time to leap.
48 degrees today in the Boston area, with some light clouds and possible late shower.
You guys have to go everywhere with me?
Tom, we're figurative metaphors.
What?
We represent the 5 layers of Visa security that surround you in a pocket of protection.
Hi there.
Like fraud monitoring?
Verified by Visa.
Zero liability. Metaphors. With Visa, you're protected.
Can metaphors pay?
No.
I'm proud to be part of I'm proud to be part of the
The offer that made history is about to be history. The GM employee discount is ending. Only 96 hours left. You pay what we pay, but only until Friday.
Take a chance and play your part. Make romance, it might break your heart. But if you think that time will change your ways, don't wait too long. Don't wait.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough.
I'm full!
Taco Bell's Big Bell Value Menu with filling items like the Grande Soft Taco with double the beef. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
The Bucs allow their first offensive touchdown against them to score, and it came on a 4th and 5. Brett Favre on what has to be considered an important drive, even though this is only the 3rd game of the year, goes 3 for 3, 78 yards, and completes that 37-yarder to Ferguson. Longwell kicks it. Cox on the return, and Torrey won't get past the 25. The touchdown to make it a 1-point game. The extra point was missed. Robert Ferguson into the crowd. Tampa Bay up 1.
With so much more to see, shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal Television? From Sharp.
Coming to DVD, this is the untold story of how Carlito Brigante rose to power.
You don't never want no beef with me.
From the producer of Scarface and Carlito's Way.
You still alive as me.
Carlito's Way, Rise to Power, on DVD Tuesday.
7 medals in a row. What's his secret? What's he doing so differently?
Still going. Energizer keeps going and going.
Pro football. A game for the ear and the eye. A 3-hour carnival of color, sound, and action.
NFL Sunday Ticket provides the most NFL games anywhere, up to 200 in total, and it's only available from DirecTV.
For the player, victory makes the game glorious. For the fan, glory is the game.
Sign up now and get 4 free months of DirecTV's best programming package. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Buccaneers took a turnover, handed to them by William Henderson, and turned it into 7 points. Featured a lot of Cadillac Williams on that drive. He carried it 8 times for 24 yards. They lead by 1 with under 2 to play in the first quarter. Cadillac Williams, nothing. Let's go back to that extra point that was missed. Longwell had made 156 consecutive extra points. The snap was high, the ball's wet, and Sander couldn't get it down into a good position for Longwell.
Yeah, and they're always important to make, and they're especially important when you're in a tight game like this one.
Play action on second down, and he hits his tight end, Beck. What a block by Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton, who's one of the most physical receivers, helping out blocking, and Beck was good for 9 yards.
Michael Clayton is one of the most physical receivers in the National Football League as just a second-year guy. Niall Diggs doesn't see him coming at all. In fact, John Gruden told us earlier in the week, Michael Clayton is the best blocking wide receiver that he has ever seen, and those are the types of blocks he's been doing on a regular basis.
Third down and 1, and Williams is brought down in the backfield. KGB, a loss of 1 and a fourth down coming up for the Buccaneers.
This Green Bay Packer defense knew they were going to be tested today with the running game of Tampa Bay. They have played well in the first 2 weeks, and so far they're holding up well again today. Third and short, they get penetration on the outside with Kabir Bajabiamila. Anytime you get penetration in short yardage, it's going to create problems.
Antonio Chapman will wait for the punt from the former Packer Josh Bidwell. Here's an interesting story. Bidwell gets off a beauty. Chapman back near his own 10. To the 20, and that's it. We welcome in Pam Oliver as a penalty flag goes down for a little extra hit at the end of that play. Pam, what's up?
Hey, Joe. Well, the Bucs hope it stops here. September 12, 1989. That's the last time that the Bucs had any kind of road success against the Packers. How do you stop that drought? I talked to Simeon Rice about that before the game. He said, you know what? The key is to just get after number 4 and stay after number 4. John Gruden, who posted that year, 1989, and signs up around the locker room, had to be somewhat pleased with the tone that his team set on both sides of the ball coming out today. Joe?
Well, now they get an extra tone.
The distance to the goal. First down.
And they call it on Green Bay on a block. They get the rookie Mike Hawkins along the sideline at the end of the 10-yard return by Chapman, and that brings the ball all the way back to the 10 with 22 seconds left in the quarter.
You know, Mike Hawkins getting his first opportunity to really get some extensive playing time. A young guy that hasn't played a lot of football is already off to a tough start. You're going to see him, number 37. And they don't ever see that one. And then he comes back and wants to get a shot at the end of the play. And there it is after the runner's already out of bounds. And that's they had pretty good field position. And now Green Bay having to start here on the 10-yard line. That's a difficult place to start against this defense of Tampa Bay.
They hit Torrey Cox to draw the flag. Kevin Berry in the game. Amon Green picks up 2 over the left side, and that will be the final play of this first quarter. So the Green Bay Packers 0-2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-0, and a good first quarter of play here at Lambeau. 7-6, Bucs on top, Green Bay with the ball. NFL on Fox continues after this from your local Fox station. Everybody talking about the career of Brett Favre winding down. Look at his reaction on that touchdown throw to Ferguson. You don't get reactions like that playing poker with the boys after you hang it up.
When I saw that reaction, it reminded me of when he ripped his helmet off when he was at the Super Bowl in '96.
Handoff is to Green, and Amon Green is hit. A loss of 1 on the play. Rick Spires on the tackle. Baseball is coming up next weekend. The Yankees and the Red Sox in a 3-game series at Fenway, which may determine not only who wins the AL East, maybe which team goes to the playoffs and which team doesn't. On third down, they shuffle it to Amon Green, and the defense for Tampa Bay is up to the task. The Bucs force a punt coming from the Packers, a gain of only 6.
Well, a good idea there by Green Bay, trying to run something relatively safe and maybe still give themselves a chance to pick up the first down. Tampa Bay defensively up front, they certainly rush the quarterback and like to penetrate to the quarterback and then play the run on their way to the quarterback, and they did a good job there of stopping it and forcing the punt.
B.J. Sander will punt it. He gets off a pretty good one. Mark Jones is waiting, the former Giant. Out to the 45. So the Bucs back on offense. Thomas made that last tackle after a 12-yard return.
Get the bottom line now during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on the all-new mid-size Nissan Frontier and the full-size Titan. With 2% financing or $3,000 cash back on the V8 Nissan Titan King Cab. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year. And that's the bottom line.
Hi, I'm Pamela Anderson. And whenever I want to see myself, I can just look in the mirror. But what do you do if you want to see me and you're not near a TV, a movie theater, a newsstand, a bookstore, the internet, or a locker room? Well, you can watch VCast from Verizon Wireless and see clips from my shows stacked right on your phone. Hey, eyes up here, Buster.
VCast takes entertainment to a whole new place. It's the only way to watch broadband quality clips of your favorite shows like Stack, where and when you want. Only from Verizon Wireless.
Ice cold Coca-Cola. The great refreshing taste you know and love. Now in Coca-Cola Zero. Everybody, chill.
Okay, you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's the new Schick Quattro Midnight. Its 4 blades give you an incredibly close shave, keeping you smooth into the night. The new Schick Quattro Midnight. The power of 4.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Nissan, who reminds you to shift the way you move through the world. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. By VCast from Verizon Wireless, it's broadband quality video on your phone. And by Subway, experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted chicken Parmesan sub today. Subway, eat fresh.
They come in all shapes and sizes, and hairdos, and helmets, and hats here at Lambeau. Tampa Bay up by a point. Greasy fires to Galloway, who was waiting on it, makes the catch inside the Packer 40 to the 39. A 15-yard completion. Let's look back before we look forward. Henderson with a fumble. Recovered by Rondé Barber. Greasy made it look easy. Defense comes up. I flip it to Galloway. And then on 4th and 5, 37 yards from Favre to Ferguson. The extra point was missed, so it's 7-6 Buccaneers. Miami with a 14-3 lead over Carolina. Greasy slings it out of the reach of Clayton. Game break time. JB will have to wait. No, go ahead.
Hey, JB, all eyes are on Michael Vick and how well he's going to perform today. Nice touch pass there to Dwayne Blakely. 7-3 Atlanta. Terry Bradshaw said he'd have a good one. And take a look at Gus Frerotte. 18-yard pass to the tight end, Randy McMichael. McMichael's 3rd touchdown reception of the season. Capitalizing off of a muffed Carolina punt. 14-3 Dolphins, visually embellishing what Joe Buck just said a second ago. Back to Joe Buck.
All right, we had a roughing the passer. That's why I said for a moment that he might have to wait, and that is nothing.
You know, you can't win if you're a defensive lineman. You try to come up high because they get you if you go low, and then he even pulled up. We saw Aaron Campman trying to back off Greasy, but he still drew the flag.
That's a terrible call, and it cost the Packers 15 yards. Campman chasing, and he pushes Greasy for a sack, a loss of 1 on the play.
And I think you got to go back to that penalty on Mike Hawkins, the personal foul that backed Green Bay up offensively. They don't get the first down. They're forced to punt. And because of field position, Tampa Bay then takes over on this possession on the 45-yard line. 1 completion later, all of a sudden they're in pretty good position. And then you get the penalty. And this is a game of field position. And you can't have penalties and things that change and alter that.
Cadillac gets it. We haven't seen him for a little while, and he is brought down after a gain of 8. Robert Thomas in on the tackle.
You know, this left side, Dan Benning, the left guard, right here, number 72. He's a rookie, and he pulls out here, and then with the upfield rush of Baja Biamila, it creates a big lane there for Cadillac Williams in order to get going. And when you give a guy like that with that kind of ability some space, he's going to pick up a lot of yards.
Buccaneers are forced to use a timeout with the play clock winding down, so Greasy will come over and talk about a 3rd down and short coming up for Tampa Bay.
Wireless data network for your small business, $0. The latest color printers for your small business, $0. 5 Trio smartphones for your small business, $0. Feeling like you can take on the world? Priceless. Use your MasterCard business card for a chance to win a free technology upgrade put together by an IT expert.
7 medals in a row. What's his secret? What's he doing so differently?
Still going. Energizer keeps going and going.
Let's see how the jacked up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe. Red Rover, we call T all over! And this guy's odor. Ah! You do not want to be odor. Get more extreme, get right guard!
Steven!
I was just hungry.
Well, is dinner not good enough for you?
Sorry.
Oh, you're darn right you're sorry.
Everyone wants the new fresh toasted chicken Parmesan sandwich, zesty marinara, melted cheese, only at Subway restaurants.
An all-new Family Guy's Lost. Will these castaways ever return home?
This is a wonderful place, and you're just using it to escape from your problems.
What do you mean? Meg's right there. Family Guy. All new at 9, 8 Central tonight on Fox. Viewer discretion advised. Family Guy presents Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story. Only on DVD Tuesday.
3rd down and 2. The offensive leaders scrolling across at the top of your screen. Greasy and the Bucs up by 1. Pass is complete to Allstott. The big fullback rumbles forward for a 1st down. And Troy Aikman, we've seen a good game so far.
Well, we really have, and I think that if you're Green Bay, you've got to feel pretty good about the way that you've come out and played, and it's just some of the little things that have hurt them. Of course, they start the game, they turn the ball over, that leads to a touchdown there for Tampa Bay. They fail to convert on the extra point, and then some of the penalties, but they eliminate those things. I mean, obviously they're in the game right now, but they've got to feel pretty good about where they're at here in this first half.
A team that comes in 0-2 on the season. But 0-2 is not that bad when you play in the NFC North. Cadillac gets it to the 10. I'd like you to refer to me with a nickname of some sort of a car.
Well, since I'm the proud owner of a Ford dealership, how's Mustang?
How about Festiva? Something sensible. Escort GT.
2nd and 8 from the
2nd down and 8. Greasy hangs in and fires Galloway's 2nd of the day. Greasy had all day back there, and Galloway right in the middle of the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown reception.
Green Bay's done a heck of a job as far as stopping the run, but they've still not been able to generate a pass rush, and Joey Galloway, he's just going to take it to the middle. He runs a little stutter route on Nick Collins. Nick Barnett thinks that he's going to run a little stutter move. He goes to the post, and he can't stay with him.
We've talked a lot about Green Bay defense. They haven't forced a turnover. Mike Sherman told us, I thought it was a good point, turnovers are forced because of pressure on the quarterback.
And the kick is good.
They're not getting pressure on Greasy. Greasy has 2 touchdown throws to Galloway. And the Buccaneers lead by 8.
Goodbye, TV. DLP picture technology is here. It'll change the way you see HD TV. DLP technology from Texas Instruments. Be sure your next TV has it.
Get the bottom line during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on Nissan Pathfinder, Xterra, Murano. Plus, get 2% financing or $2,500 cash back on the full-size Nissan Armada. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year, and that's the bottom line.
Whatever the season, when a storm gathers, so do we. The State Farm Catastrophe Team. A full-time force of 2,500 people whose only mission is to be there in times of crisis, working with local State Farm agents to bring help and hope to more people than any other company. And we'll be there for you, too.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by State Farm. Great service, great rates. That's why 40 million drivers trust State Farm.
Green Bay about to get it back. The offensive line for the Buccaneers coming together. They protect Greasy. Greasy gets it to Galloway, who got past Barnett, the middle linebacker for Green Bay. An offensive line that has Anthony Davis, who made 2 appearances as a rookie last year. Dan Benning, a rookie. Wade, who had a terrible knee injury last year at center, had a reconstruction. Mahan, who's never played right guard. And then Kenyatta Walker, who is starting to fulfill the promise he had when he was picked 14th overall by the Bucs a few years ago. Penalty flag comes in as Terrence Murphy gives Green Bay good field position, but will some of that be taken away after a 30-yard return? Penalties have been crippling to the Green Bay Packers so far in this half. And this looks like we'll get him again.
During the return, holding number 98 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
They get Kenny Peterson for a hold. And instead of field position out at the 34, it moves it back to the 20. Green Bay down 8.
Get the bottom line now during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on the all-new mid-size Nissan Frontier and the full-size Titan. With 2% financing or $3,000 cash back on the V8 Nissan Titan King Cab. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year. And that's the bottom line.
KFC's new flavor station lets you choose your own flavor, which puts you in charge.
KFC's flavor station? I'm in charge!
With KFC's new flavor station, I'm in charge! You're in control with KFC's new flavor station. Finally, get your wings dipped any way you want. Choose from 3 awesome sauces. New fiery buffalo, new sweet and spicy, or classic honey barbecue. Right now, get 6 for $2.99 or 18 for $7.99.
Okay, who's in charge here?
Be the boss. Choose your sauce at KFC.
With so much more to see, shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal television? From Sharp.
Fox Tuesday. A student is found dead.
It's obviously a suicide.
The school's trying to cover up a murder.
But in the search for the truth, a shocking sex scandal is exposed.
I'll take you down to headquarters in handcuffs.
He'll do it. He doesn't like you.
Bones. All new at 8/7 Central. Fox Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Fox tomorrow. It's an Arrested Development love story with Oscar winner Charlize Theron.
I have not been on a date in a long, long time.
You'll love Arrested Development. All new 8/7 Central tomorrow on Fox.
Some crazy person somewhere thought up the formula to figure out quarterback rating. That's perfect on the part of Brett Favre, 158.3. But Brian Griese is right on his heels, and quarterback comparison and quarterback rating and all that. Griese's got 2 touchdown throws. And it's 14-6 Tampa Bay. Over the middle, Amon Green. Brought down by Ryan Neese, a gain of 6.
They go back and look at the protection that Brian Griese was afforded. Anthony Davis, the left tackle, just making his 3rd NFL start and going against one of the premier pass rushers in the National Football League. Does a good job, and he's not getting any help. And that's the reason why Brian Griese was given time to allow this to develop, to Joey Galloway working that stutter move off of middle linebacker Nick Barnett.
Anthony Davis showing he can hide a hold pretty well. Good run by Amon Green. First down, Green Bay. Big doubleheader next week on Fox. The early games. The Rams at the Giants. Lions at the Bucks. Troy and I and our entire gang will be in Kansas City. Good interconference battle. Philadelphia and Kansas City. Kansas City off to a 2-0 start. They play on Monday night against Denver. That pass is picked off. Penalty flag is down on the play, and the interception by Will Allen. Allen comes away with it. Actually, Kelly comes away with it.
Holding.
And it's a hold against
Offense
Green Bay,
70.
so the interception will stand.
Decline. Play results. The first down, Tampa Bay.
That's already 3 interceptions for Kelly this season, and for Favre, his 5th.
Well, that ball was just thrown behind, and Brian Kelly's going to come up with the interception. And as you see, Donald Driver, he's on the inside. Brian Kelly shading his outside shoulder, and Favre just let one get away from him. I don't know if he thought Donald Driver was going to come out of the break and back to the sideline, but it was clear that Donald Driver expected the ball to his inside. Brian Kelly, who's got terrific ball skills, was able to bring that one in.
Last 8 games for Favre against the Bucks, 15 interceptions. Tosses to Cadillac Williams, and he almost broke that. Williams gets 9.5.
You know, you're so concerned on the backside when you're going against a running back like Cadillac Williams that you've got to get some pursuit, because you want to try to shut down the cutback lanes, and Kabir's going to come flat here, and when he does, that's why the toss out the backside works. You fake it to the front side, flip it to Cadillac, and let him get to the outside, because Kabir was not worried about containment.
Minnesota up 17-0 on New Orleans. Depends on the spot as Williams gets it. He was brought down right at the marker. First guy there was Niall Diggs for the Packers.
I think Green Bay, they're going to go in here at halftime and they're going to talk about all the things that they've done right, but they're also going to discuss the number of things that they've done wrong, because they've really played a pretty good game with the exception of these penalties and the turnovers. They open up the game. They have a nice drive. William Henderson has the fumble, and then Tampa Bay is able to capitalize on that and score. And you just can't do those types of things against a good football team, particularly against a team that's got momentum behind them like Tampa Bay does.
See if it's a first down or 3rd and short. It'll be 3rd and inches for the Bucks. Oakland with that lead over 1-1 Philadelphia, 7-0. Jacksonville leading at the Jets. Cincinnati, not necessarily a surprise, but boy, they put up some scores and some points the first couple of weeks.
And how about Carson Palmer going back to last year? 5 straight games with a quarterback rating over 100.
Griese's going to keep it, and it looks like forward progress will give Tampa Bay a first down. So first down Buccaneers, already leading by 8. Let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, that Packers beleaguered defense may already be having some self-esteem issues. Mike Sherman paid a visit to them when they came off the field that last time. He said, you know what, we're going to be all right. We're going to get it rolling. But it's a group struggling with confidence. You can see it in their body language. Joe, that group doesn't seem to have that fiery leadership that we're used to seeing from a guy like Darren Sharper.
Yeah, they miss Darren Sharper. I don't think there's any doubt about that. If for no other reason, Troy, then he always had a nose for the football. I mean, he would struggle through injuries and he might give up a play here or there, but Darren Sharper would come away with interceptions or key fumble recoveries, and he's now with the Vikes.
And when you look at this Green Bay defense and you start talking about the people that they have,
Tampa Bay,
they just don't have a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball. I think KGB is one of those type of guys. I think Al Harris is one of those type of guys, but they don't have a lot of them. Darren Sharper certainly was one.
Quick timeout called for by the Bucs.
Orders received and understood. Search and destroy.
Down here. Doom, rated R.
It's a first down for Tampa Bay. When talking to John Gruden, he said what the question was that he asked Greasy when he was out there and was ready to sign him. He wanted to find out if he had any interest in becoming great. He thought he could in his system. It's easy to say now. But Greasy, they're finally getting out of that John Elway shadow in Denver, is making the most of this chance. A rebirth in the NFL. Greasy has it batted back toward him. Cullen Jenkins got his hand up, and it's 2nd and 10.
I think Brian Greasy is one of those quarterbacks that just really fits into this system, very well for John Gruden. And, John Gruden not only asked Brian Greasy, he asked all the players when they're talking to free agents out there, and he wants guys that are passionate about the game of football and want to come and be a part of this Tampa Bay team and be the best that they can be. And Brian Greasy, who's been somewhat of a journeyman in his short career, definitely wanted to come here and be a part of this system and play for John Gruden.
2nd down and 10. They hand it to Cadillac Williams. He is driven down from behind. Campman was a part of that tackle, as well as Colin Cole, and let's get more of your take.
I think every coach wants a quarterback that they feel can take what they learn in the classroom and then be an extension of the head coach or the offensive coordinator and apply it on the field. And when you look at Rich Gannon and Brad Johnson and now with Brian Greasy, those are 3 guys that John Gruden's had that have been able to translate what he wants to do out on the field and do the audibles and execute it, and they've done a good job for him in this offense.
3rd down and 8. Pressure from Campman, and Greasy just has to get rid of it, and they're going to throw another flag on Aaron Campman. And Favre is out on the field.
Yeah, Favre better get on the sidelines. He doesn't have his helmet on for starters.
Are they going to get Campman again for hitting Greasy late?
Well, they're huddling and talking about it now, and Brian Greasy certainly gets pressure, as you're going to see. Aaron Campman, and there's nothing there, Joe. I mean,
the only other question could be grounding. One hand got up to his face. Let's see what it is.
The quarterback was outside the pocket, and the ball got back to the line of scrimmage. Makes it 4th down.
So there is no call for intentional grounding, and we were getting ready to unload on Ron Winter because they already got Campman once. They already got Campman once on a play that looked innocent, and Favre was out there. He was unloading on Winter.
Well, and as a quarterback, I mean, I can tell you, when they've been late hits, when they're bad hits. Mike Sherman is upset that they didn't call intentional grounding. But initially it looked like Aaron Campman was going to get called for roughing the quarterback, and Aaron Campman both times now has taken and raised his hands to show to the official that he's not trying to do anything illegal.
Now on 4th down, the Bucs are going to go for it, it appears. It's 4th and 8.
on the field goal try. And I think part of the reason Mike Sherman was so upset, it wasn't so much that the ball got to the line of scrimmage, but Brian Griese was clearly still within the pocket. So I agree with Mike Sherman that that should have been intentional grounding.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest high-speed wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Well, you've got each head coach furious at the end of that play. Sherman is upset because of the field position. Right now, it's kept Tampa Bay within field goal range, and they have the field goal unit on the field after initially looking like they were going to go for it. And I think Gruden wanted the call on Campman.
Nobody's happy. Sherman wanted intentional grounding. Gruden, he wanted to roughen the quarterback.
So a 42-yard try here from Matt Bryant. And Bryant drills it. Poor conditions on the field. Crowd is groaning. It's an 11-point Tampa Bay lead with 6:48 to go in the half.
Degrees today in the Boston area with some light clouds and possible late shower.
You guys have to go everywhere with me?
Tom, we're figurative metaphors.
What?
We represent the 5 layers of Visa security that surround you in a pocket of protection.
Hi there.
Like fraud monitoring?
Verified by Visa.
Zero liability.
Metaphors.
With Visa, you're protected.
Can metaphors pay?
No.
Okay, you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's the new Schick Quattro Midnight. Its 4 blades give you an incredibly close shave, keeping you smooth into the night. The new Schick Quattro Midnight. The power of 4.
You said earlier that you agree with Mike Sherman, upset that there was no intentional grounding call because they said Griese was out of the pocket. He's got to be outside the tackles, and he doesn't look to be close to being outside the tackle.
Takes one step to his right, unloads it to avoid the sack. And yes, he did get the ball in the vicinity of the line of scrimmage, which is as the rule reads, but you have to be outside the pocket. Mike Sherman had a good argument. That should have been intentional grounding.
Which would have been loss of down, so 4th down. And the yardage might have taken the Buccaneers out of field goal range. Instead, Bryant hits the 42-yarder, and Terrence Murphy gets another chance for a return. And Murphy is out across the 25, a 28-yard return by the Green Bay wide receiver. The road to 2-0 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cadillac Williams came into the day leading the NFL in rushing yardage. Top-ranked defense, Brooks and Barber and that gang doing their thing. And up until today, no defensive touchdowns allowed until Ferguson got in on the 4th and 5. A touchdown throw from Favre for 37 yards. On 1st down, it's Amon Green. And Green crosses the 30, picked up 3.
You know, yeah, you mentioned how Tampa Bay got to 2-0 coming into this game, and Cadillac Williams certainly doing his thing, but he hasn't been able to get on track today, and that's a credit to this Green Bay defensive front. You know, he's averaging less than 3 yards a carry, so they've done their job in that sense. I like what Green Bay's doing offensively, other than the turnovers, obviously, and that's a big part of this, but they're not having a great deal of success running the football, but at least they're sticking with it because they know they can't get into a game where they're just throwing the ball with Brett Favre.
2nd down and 7. They try a reverse. Chapman with Favre throwing a block for him. 1st down, Green Bay. I think Brett still loves that. Whether he gets a solid block on somebody or not, he just likes being out in front of the play.
Well, he just enjoys competing, and that's why I think he's going to still be playing for a few more years. And, you know, this is what he enjoys doing. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that'll get out in front and lead the way. And, boy, he almost took a shot in the back there, too. Could have maybe got him on that one, but Just a good play call. You're going against a good defensive group that over pursues oftentimes to the ball carrier. You come with the reverse. Antonio Chapman picking up a first down.
Lombardi smiles from above whenever Favre does that, I'm sure. They pump, they go deep, driver, and a penalty flag. Brian Kelly was defending for Tampa Bay. Driver was drifting to the football, and it's a pass interference against the Bucs, and Gruden is hot.
Yeah, you think he was hot a minute ago. Look at him now. I got to tell you, Joe, from right here, I didn't see anything. You got to let guys compete for the ball.
And they just got Gruden again for coming off the sideline.
Well, you could argue that Donald Driver's actually got his right arm on Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly has as much a right to the football as Donald Driver does, and I don't see anything wrong with what took place here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference. Defense number 25 penalized at the spot of the foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Tampa Bay bench. That penalty is assessed after this is to the goal. First down.
You can't lose it if you're Gruden, but it's certainly understandable. And you could see that on that pass, Driver's playing defense.
Absolutely, Joe. And Donald Driver had his right arm engaged with Brian Kelly to try to keep him from coming down with the interception. Brian Kelly has a right to the football, and he did not do anything there that should have drawn a flag. I agree with John Gruden getting upset. I don't agree with him taking the penalty and hurting his football team.
First and goal for Green Bay. Amon Green. And a good play is made by Dwayne White. No gain. Dwayne White is part of this rotation for the defensive line for the Bucs. And as we talked about earlier, the effort to keep this line fresh. A group that wore down last year in the fourth quarter. 5 of their 11 losses happened when that defense collapsed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Mike Sherman wants to try to wear them down, but he knows that that's going to be difficult to do when they're able to substitute the guys like they're able to because of their depth.
Second and goal. They toss to Green. Tampa Bay strings it out. Penalty flag comes in on the play, and Green Bay can't run the football today so far on the Bucs. They can't do it.
No, they can't do it. Few teams can, but as I mentioned a little bit ago, I like the fact that they're still trying to stick with it, and you have to do that, especially in the first half of the ball game.
Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So they get Kevin Berry. You wonder, a guy like Favre, and when the running game's working, it's one thing. A couple of years ago, this was the best running team in the NFL. And Favre said, this is what we do. This is the kind of team we are. But you know, Favre still believes that he can drop back, put it in his hand, and he's going to win the game for you. You got to believe he's a little frustrated with what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and even though Javon Walker's gone, he still believes that they've got the weapons. They don't have Bubba Franks either, and that hurts him. But yeah, he's a guy who wants the ball in his hands at all times.
Second and goal from the 20. Far down the middle, he says, give me the chance, and Chapman for the touchdown.
Gets good protection. Antonio Chapman in the slot just runs right down the middle against that Tampa Bay 2-deep defense. Shelton Quarles, who was distracted due to the other side, was not able to get back deep enough.
This time Longwell hits the extra point. Brett Favre says, let's put the running game aside for a moment. Chapman gets his first of the year. Flanagan tackles his quarterback. It's a 4-point game.
With so much more to see, Shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal Television? From Sharp.
Take a look at Rondé Barber, and he's been very upset ever since the touchdown. And you know, he's the guy who plays inside on the slot. Antonio Chapman running down the middle of the field. Uncontested, really. Shelton Quarles, who plays the middle linebacker position in that Tampa Bay defense, that cover 2, usually is able to get deep enough to get underneath that, but he wasn't able to on Antonio Chapman for the touchdown.
Green Bay will kick it away. Tampa Bay will get it up by 4. Torrey Cox waiting for it from inside the 5. Cox, a good return. Inactive last week, and a penalty flag comes in at the end of the run back. Is there ever a kickoff where a flag isn't thrown?
Not today.
33-yard return. Tampa Bay came in as the most penalized team in the NFL. They practiced this past week with officials on the field.
Holding. Number 26, the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, what you're going to see here is you're going to see Antonio Chapman is the guy going to the post, and then you've got Shelton Quarles right here, who's the middle linebacker. And in that Tampa Bay cover 2, the safeties get wide, but you see Quarles working this side, and then Brett Favre comes off of him to the other side. So Shelton Quarles is in a little bit of a quandary there as to which guy he was going to try to get underneath. He just picked the wrong one.
Or Brett picked the right one. Handoff is to Williams. He gets it to the 20, and that's a loss of 1. Corey Williams in on the tackle. So Williams on Williams.
Well, I don't know what you can say enough, at least here in the first half, the job that this Green Bay defensive front has done, this front 7 group, in containing the run game and not allowing Cadillac Williams to get outside and create some big plays.
And I know you think they've got the right guy to run this defense in Jim Bates.
Jim Bates has been a heck of a defensive coach everywhere that he's been, and he's going to get the most out of these players here in Green Bay.
With what he has right now, 2nd down and 11 over the middle. Pass complete to Galloway, who has 2 touchdowns. He's out to the 29. It'll be 3rd and 2.
You know, Jim Bates, who comes from Miami, he was a defensive coordinator there for a number of years. He took over at the end of last season as the interim head coach and did a heck of a job. I mean, this was a Dolphins team that had all but given up, and when he became the head coach, he got them enthusiastic again. They went 3-4 over the last 7 games. He thought he might have a chance at being the head coach, but he's here in Green Bay, and they're fortunate to have him.
3rd and 2 over the middle. 1st down, Tampa Bay. Pass is complete to Ike Hilliard. A gain of 7 on 3rd and 2, and with 3:01 left in the half, Green Bay will use a timeout, hoping to stop and get the ball back.
Well, Anthony Davis again working on Kabir Baja-Biamila, and you know, that's not an easy task when you're talking about a speed rusher without any help. Typically you like to get a back over there on that side to at least chip a good speed rusher, but they're letting him work against KGB by himself, and for the most part he's done a pretty good job.
Just as a reminder, you're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Rethink TV. So Green Bay hoping they make a stop on this series. They're going to burn some timeouts. Have the 2-minute warning. Sometimes you take the timeouts on defense, you end up burning yourself. As they'll give Tampa Bay a chance to go down the field. Tampa Bay is out of timeouts. Blitz coming from the Packers. They don't get there, and Greasy fires incomplete. Clayton, the intended receiver, and Al Harris collared him after the ball got there.
We were talking a little bit earlier, Joe, about Al Harris and him being one of the playmakers on this defensive team, and he's the one guy in this secondary that they can really hang their hat on, and they like for him to go with the best receiver of the opponent, and for the most part he hasn't been able to do that today. They want him on Michael Clayton, but because of all the shifts and motioning that John Gruden and this offense like to use, it keeps him from being able to match up the way he would like. There's Al right there.
He's on Hilliard at the top of the screen, and Pittman gets to the 40. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Buccaneers. And Green Bay will let the clock tick, try to keep their timeouts, hope they get a stop on 3rd down and have plenty of time to go back down the field. As a guy who made a tackle on the first play of this drive, Corey Williams, comes off, bothered by something up around the right shoulder. 3rd and 8. Reese fires, pass complete. Clayton reaching for the 1st down, and it looks to be a little short. Paris Lennon made the tackle, and it looks like by inches that is short of 1st down yardage. We're at the 2-minute warning, and we will have a measurement.
This is a 2-minute warning.
So will it be a 1st down or 4th and inches? I'm guessing 4th and inches. 2 minutes left in the 1st half.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
That ought to do it. Oh, you're going international, huh?
That's the plan.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Hey, Frank, little help.
Here you go, guys.
Hey, ragazzi. Hey, Franco, che aiuti?
Ci vediamo.
Ciao, Franco.
Ciao.
Ecco i pacchi dall'America.
Sì, lavoriamo con l'estero,
Ti ringrazio.
Complimenti.
Global shipping with a very familiar face. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
BK is making NFL history. Every Coated Angus wrapper scores you Gridiron Extras, like a free day of NFL Sunday ticket from DirecTV. Long live the King.
Get the bottom line during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on Nissan Pathfinder, Xterra, Murano. Plus, get 2% financing or $2,500 cash back on the full-size Nissan Armada. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year, and that's the bottom line.
Visa halftime report coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights from today's early games and some interesting scores we've seen going across our ticker up there. It was 4th and inches, and I mean 4 or 5 inches. The ball on the Tampa Bay side of the field. They have their punt unit out getting ready to punt it back to Green Bay. 2 minutes left. Green Bay with 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, they're going to have plenty of time on the clock, and then along with the 2 timeouts, and they're not probably going to get great field position after this punt. You wonder whether or not they're going to be content going in 17-13, or if they're going to try to move the football and come away with some points here before the half. Typically, you'd say against a great team like Tampa Bay, you want to be a little bit cautious, but then when you've got Brett Favre on your team, I think you approach it a little bit differently.
Bidwell hangs it high. Chapman calls for a fair catch out near his own 12. Fox Saturday Baseball, that fun matchup. It's always fun, but this time it is a true divisional chase. Yankees and Red Sox are other games with playoff implications. It starts at 1 Eastern, noon Central, with our pregame show, and it's a matchup of 2 guys, the front 2 guys in the race for the American League MVP award. A-Rod, who plays third base, as you know, and David Ortiz, the DH, with 16 more RBIs than the Yankee third baseman. Hand off, Amon Green. He's out to the 16. Packers are going to see what they get here in the first few plays and let that determine how they play the rest of the half.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of offenses will do. You come out and run the ball, run a draw, see what kind of yards you pick up. Brett was unsure, checking the sidelines. Are we going to go to the no huddle or are we not? They elected to huddle. A lot of what they do after this play is going to be determined by what happens on this play.
Favre is in trouble. Down he goes. Greg Spires. And that sack will bring up 3rd and long, and will tell you that the Packers will probably sit on it for the rest of the half. Green Bay in this first half, Troy, 8 penalties, 2 turnovers, and they're down by only 4.
That's the surprising part of it. For the most part, I think they've played pretty good ball, and if you eliminate those turnovers and you eliminate those penalties, who knows what the score would be, but that is a part of football, and if they clean that up in the second half, they've got a real shot at this thing.
Mike Flanagan is injured as he comes to the line. They hand to Amon Green. He gets to the 15. And that's going to do it for the first half. Crowd doesn't like it, but once they started going backward against this Tampa Bay #1 ranked defense, they are not going to try and push it. So Flanagan will take the break, have a chance to rest. He hurt his hand earlier, and he walks off with a little bit of a limp. Brian Griese and the 2-0 Buccaneers head off the field. And it's a 17-13 Tampa Bay lead here at Lambeau Field. Pack looking for their first win of the year. Been a fun first half. See you on the other side. Visa halftime show coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Second half from Lambeau after that. Seen so far here today, 17-13 after all that action. Tampa Bay on top. 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Green Bay Packers. And if anybody came into this game thinking that the Packers were going to roll over and play dead at 0-2, they've made some mistakes, but as you said a couple times, it was a pretty impressive first half for them.
I think so, yeah, and they need to clean up the mistakes that they've made, and if they're able to do that, then they've certainly got a good shot at this here in the second half. And as far as Tampa Bay goes, Green Bay's done a terrific job as far as shutting down the run. Can they continue to do that in the second half? Generally what happens when you're playing against a team that likes to run the ball, they keep pounding it, and then late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, something starts to give. That'll be the key for Green Bay. But Tampa Bay, you've got to like the efficiency of Brian Griese. He hasn't thrown the ball a lot, but he's been very productive with the balls that he's thrown.
Take a look at some of the stats from the first half. A 4-point game at the half. Rushing yards, Cadillac Williams and company held to 48. For the Packers, 39. The pass yards, Favre has a touchdown throw. He's also been picked off in our fantasy numbers for Griese and Favre. Cadillac Williams, Amon Green. Favre with the 2 touchdowns and the interception. Galloway has both touchdown catches for Tampa Bay. Ferguson and Chapman have each received one for Green Bay. Log on to foxsports.com to track your fantasy players. This one is bobbled and dropped by Torrey Cox, and now he's got nowhere to go. Cox is at the 13, and that's as far as he could get. Let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, we just learned Packers offensive coordinator Tom Rossley only got to the stadium within the last hour or so. Apparently, when he got to the stadium this morning, he wasn't feeling well. He was taken to the hospital. Some tests were performed. They all came back negative. Incredibly, he is back at the stadium and back up in the booth. Joe?
All right, Pam. Tom Rossley had emergency angioplasty last year. After the 5th game of the season for Green Bay, they started out 1-4. So good to report that Rossley's okay, back to work, and a penalty flag comes in as Williams carries it for no gain. Robert Thomas on the tackle. Could decline this penalty this deep.
Holding. Offense number 69. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
All you're moving the ball back is a handful of yards, and you're giving Tampa Bay that first down back. Cadillac is on the sideline. And the ball is now at the Buccaneers 6. First down and 16. Play action from Greasy. Flips it. That's Jameel Cook. And Cook is out across the 15-yard line, knocked out at the 17. Pickup of 9.
So you get backed up there in your own part of the end zone, and you want to get the ball out as best you can, but you really don't want to sit back in the pocket as a quarterback and allow those rushers to know where you're going to be. And it's a nice, safe play called there by John Gruden to allow Brian Greasy to get to the outside, make a safe throw, and now they get it off the goal line and in pretty good range.
Second down and 5. It's Cook's 3rd catch of the year. Cadillac Williams over the left side for a first down for Tampa Bay. Now just shy of the 25, and there was a big hole for Cadillac to use on the left side.
Yeah, and it's one of the few times that he's actually had some room to run. And again, you've got Pittman out there who had lined up as a wide receiver who was blocking, and he's the one who at least kept the distance with the corner and allowed Cadillac Williams a little bit of room. Boy, he's got great feet, doesn't he?
He does. First down and 10. Penalty flags on the play. A couple of them fly as Pittman can't make the grab, defended by Thomas. And there are 3 flags down on the field.
I know a concern of John Gruden's.
Holding. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, Anthony Davis has had a good day out on the edge against KGB.
Well, John Gruden was concerned about the penalties, but the offensive line really had not committed a great deal of them coming into this game. And, you know, when you have a penalty like that, what happens is it's just being lazy. You're not in position with your feet, and when you don't get in position with your feet, then you start lunging and grabbing, and that's what happened to Anthony Davis.
Brings up first down and 20 after the penalty, and Cadillac Williams runs into the middle of the line and picks up 3. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, just a little business from halftime. Talking to the coaches, John Gruden was still pretty hot over that pass interference call. About the only thing he was in the mood to say at halftime was, "I'm proud of our group, and we just got to keep playing hard." Mike Sherman said he's pleased with the effort his guys are making to slow down the Bucs' running game. As for his own, he says, "We're going to be patient and hope it turns around."
Thanks, Pam. Sherman and Favre talking over what they're going to try and do offensively, I'm sure, in this second half. Second down and 19. The pass is complete to Clayton. Clayton is out to the 28, brought down by Thomas. Got 11. Third down coming up for the Bucs.
You know, one thing about this Tampa Bay offense is they really don't throw the ball down the field all that often. It's rare that you see a ball thrown 20 yards down the field. A lot of the things that they like to do are the crossing routes and catch the ball and let a guy run. And Joey Galloway was brought in here to be that big play guy, but they don't really take that many shots down the field to him.
Third down and 7, a blitz from Green Bay. Penalty flag on the play, incomplete to Allstott. And the flag is in the area of a hold. Campman had more pressure on Greasy. Aaron Campman has been active here in this game to this point. Looks like a punt's coming from Tampa.
Holding. Offense number 79. Penalties decline. It's a 4th down.
Sean Mahan, who is playing right guard for the first time this season.
You know, Aaron Campman, I think he's a heck of a football player. I mean, he's not the most talented guy in the world, but he certainly has a lot more talent than what he gets credited for. But the one thing that you can count on with him is that he's going to come after you play after play, and he's not a guy who's going to lay down. And he's played well here in this game today, and he's had an impact on what's happened.
He forced that incompletion with pressure. Another good kick. Bidwell. Chapman just outside the 20. Out to the 26. Aaron Kempman has been busy. Said his name time after time. Here's what he did on that last offensive play by Tampa Bay to force the punt. Green Bay with the ball, down by 4.
Oh, yeah!
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Taco Bell's Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the half-pound beef combo burrito with double the beef. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
Okay, you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's the new Schick Quattro Midnight. Its 4 blades give you an incredibly close shave, keeping you smooth into the night. The new Schick Quattro Midnight. The power of 4.
For over 75 years, we've been sacrificing Volvos in the name of safety. Today, when it comes to style and design, we sacrifice nothing. Safety is a beautiful thing, especially when it's beautiful. The 2006 Volvos.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
Somebody gave me one of those hats last year. We were up here in Green Bay. It's not dangerous. It's not Pacalo dangerous. It's all styrofoam.
I just want to know if you took it home with you.
I did. I've got it. Handoff is to Green, one of his more spirited runs of the day out to the 31. Picked up 4.5. See some of the baseball scores scrolling through. Philadelphia trying to stay alive in the National League wild card, trailing Houston by a couple of games, and Houston trailing at Chicago today 1-0 in the second. Kevin Berry is in as an extra tackle and eligible. Mon Green, the tailback. Mon Green gets it, waits for that blocking to open a hole, and Green has a first down at the Green Bay 42.
Well, that was a little bit more of what we're accustomed to seeing from Amon Green in this offensive line. And you know, he's a very patient runner, and he starts to the outside, but he stays in well behind Adrian Clem, the left guard, who had pulled for him. And that's about as good a run as we've seen certainly here today, and maybe for Amon Green the entire first part of this season.
They'll stay with Green, and this time a hole doesn't open up. Chris Hovan was in the middle of that for Tampa Bay. See the offensive leaders scrolling by for Green Bay, and Brett Favre 132 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and Amon Green to this point has 44 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and Amon Green, and we can't emphasize it enough, that if they're going to be the team that they hope to be, they've got to be able to run the football. And for a number of years, this offensive line played together. They got to know each other, and they were a very solid unit. And now they're just trying to find themselves again with some of the new players that are playing.
Favre fires too high and almost into the gut of Bolden. And Favre is yelling at his receiver. I believe Ferguson was the closest one to it, and Favre's going to get right in his face.
Yeah, and this is what quarterbacks don't like. Robert Ferguson's running a slant route, and he just stops. And Brett Favre doesn't know he's going to stop, and so he turns it loose, and it would have been an interception there to Jerron Bolden, and it would have gone down as Brett Favre's mistake. And, you know, you can't do this to a quarterback. If you're going to run a route, you got to run a route, and Robert Ferguson didn't look like he was expecting the ball to be thrown his direction.
Free safety Dexter Jackson is out with a hamstring injury for the Bucs. It's 3rd down and 9. Favre fires. What a catch driver. Came back to get it, and a first down at the Tampa Bay 45.
I know Driver, when Javon Walker went down, Donald Driver was committed to proving that he could be the #1 guy again. He led this team in receiving in both 2002 and then again in 2003. And even last year, he had a heck of a year. He had his best numbers of his career with 1,200 yards receiving. And there's no question in anybody's mind in this organization that he can be the #1 guy and have just as good a year this year as what he had a year ago.
Tosses to Davenport, who runs it for the first time today, stays on his feet after getting hit by Brooks, and picks up 2.
And I think in a lot of ways, as far as the run game goes for the Green Bay Packers, so much of the attention, and rightfully so, is laid on Ahman Green. But Najee Davenport has always been a guy who comes in. He's a nice change-up back to the style of running of Ahman Green's, and a very physical type runner. He's been nagged with injuries in recent years. I don't know that he's ever been really completely healthy, but you know, he's a real key guy in their ability to be effective running the football.
Could be in his final year with Green Bay. 2nd down and 8. Play action. Favre with all day, but nowhere to go. Now he fires it, and the pass incomplete. Ferguson had it in his gut and then drops it.
Well, Brett Favre was working to his left side. He had plenty of time to try to survey the field. Watch Terrence Murphy. They turned him loose. The corner thought he was going to have safety help. There was no safety, and Terrence Murphy's just out there jumping up and down, hoping by chance that Brett Favre's going to get a chance to see him, but Brett's working to his left, and Ferguson not able to make the catch.
There's more to be said about Ferguson. Over the middle, Chapman. First down, Green Bay. Chapman makes a tough catch in traffic.
You know, and Antonio Chapman, he stepped up his game today, too. All of these receivers really have. And Antonio Chapman is only 5'9". And it literally is like trying to throw a guy out at second base, because you've got to throw a pretty good ball in order for him to have a chance to catch it, because there's not a lot of margin for error for the quarterback when you're talking about a guy who's that little. But he's got some ability. He's got some quickness, runs a good route there, and Brett Favre puts it on his numbers.
First down, Davenport tries the right side. Picked up 2. Shelton Quarles on the tackle. The point I was going to make about Ferguson is, here's a guy who was a 2nd-round draft pick in 2001. His career high is 38 catches. He accomplished that in 2003. Now they don't have their deep threat in Javon Walker. He's got to take the next step and be one of the guys to take the pressure off Driver, who right now is the only consistent threat on the outside.
And that's the challenge for him. I think that in recent years, guys have gone down. Players for this Packer team have stepped up and elevated their play. And now it's time for Ferguson, and he certainly has done that on this game.
2nd and 8, backpedaling. Favre throws high and incomplete from Murphy. Favre got rid of that as he was going backward, and Favre is screaming out in Murphy's direction. Favre's pumped up. He's lighting everybody up.
You don't think this guy likes to compete? You know, I mean, I like it. I really do. I mean, he's playing with some young guys, and you know, not only at wide receiver, but also along the offensive line. It's a new cast of characters for Brett Favre, and he does have to take on more of a leadership role. Not that he's ever lacked in that regard, but he's got to be more vocal, and that's what he's being.
Blitz from Barber, and the pass is caught by Murphy. He's going to be a yard shy of a first down. And now the officials get together, and we'll see if they rule a catch, and now they wave it off. I believe the back judge came in and said that Murphy didn't catch it, and we'll get another look at it.
Well, that's close. It looked close from here when it happened, and it's hard to tell whether or not he had his hands underneath the ball and was able to haul that one in or not.
Will Sherman challenge it? even if he does, it's still 4th down. It'd be 4th down and 1 from the 17. They're going to save the challenge to this point. Sherman hasn't thrown it out there, and try the field goal. This would make it a 1-point game. Longwell missed an extra point after that first touchdown. 42-yard try. No good. So it's still a 4-point game. And Tampa Bay will take over at their own 32. So Longwell has missed twice today. He's the difference in this game. A missed extra point, the missed 42-yard try. More frustration with the Packers still down 4.
It's the strongest full-size pickup, and the only one to earn both government 5-star and IIHS Best Pick front crash ratings. Only one truck earned the right to be called F-150.
Sometimes you just have to slow things down. That's why for Budweiser Select, we carefully handpick the finest 2-row barley malt. Then we take the time to brew Budweiser Select longer, so you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. Enjoy the taste. Be selective.
The new Steak Fanatic pizza.
Man fuel. Cool.
Hey, there's only 23 figurines left. They're statues.
They're statues.
Domino's new Steak Fanatic Pizza. Buy a medium for $9.99 and heap on more Angus steak for just $2. Get the door. It's Domino's.
Get the movie that's fun for everyone.
Yeah! Na, 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 na.
Whoops, Robin Williams is back.
Stick with me. I know this town like the back of my hand. Hey, that's new.
Robots on DVD Tuesday.
I didn't know I could do that.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Robots. Own it on DVD Tuesday.
Frank Winters, Jerry Kramer talking it over. Well, Frank has slimmed down. He was Brett Favre's center for a long time here in Green Bay, and not only his center, but probably his closest friend on this team.
You know, those linemen, when they retire, they either go that way and they slim down a lot, or they go the other way. You know, they don't ever stay the same.
On first down, it's Cadillac Williams with Pittman blocking for him. Mark Roman, the strong safety, makes the tackle, a gain of 5. Let's learn more about Cadillac Williams. We'll ride with him. Young Jeezy is his favorite musician. Football hero is Walter Payton. Celebrity crush Halle Berry, and his secret talent, he can do backflips. Prized possession, what else would it be? A Cadillac Escalade.
What does Young Jeezy sing?
We were just listening to some of it. I mean, that was just kind of the sound of Young Jeezy. Pass is complete to Clayton. He's got a first down for the Buccaneers. You know, when you think about Cadillac Williams, realize he was the 5th overall pick and the 3rd running back taken, including behind his teammate in college at Auburn, Ronnie Brown, who went number 2 overall to Miami and got more money.
Yeah, and Cedric Benson was the 4th pick. He goes to Chicago, and then Cadillac Williams, the next pick here to Tampa Bay. And time will tell, but Tampa Bay's certainly happy with the guy they got.
Nobody's done what Cadillac's done to this point this season. Alex Smith with his first catch of the day, the big tight end, the rookie out of Stanford, picked up 4. You know, it's amazing when you think about what was going on at Auburn. Ronnie Brown was a number 2 overall pick. He gained 2,700 yards in college, 28 touchdowns. Got a 5-year, $34 million deal, and his teammate, who got more carries than him, Cadillac Williams, 3,800 yards, 45 touchdowns, and a $31 million deal.
And Jason Campbell, he joined the Millionaire Boys Club too, and he got drafted by the Redskins.
He was their quarterback. Tosses to Williams, running left. Williams is taken down at the 49 by Nick Collins. A gain of only 1. Third down coming up for the Buccaneers.
And it really is remarkable when you watch the first 2 games of Tampa Bay offensively and Cadillac Williams and the way that he was knifing through the defense. 148 yards in week 1, 128 yards in week 2, and here he is today towards the end of the third quarter with 57 yards. I mean, this Green Bay defense, I know that they've kind of been the whipping boy here for about the last year and a half, but they have done a heck of a job today against Cadillac Williams.
Third down and 5. Greasy. Incomplete. Galloway, the intended receiver, and Greasy was throwing off his back foot, couldn't step into that throw, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, I was talking about Joey Galloway a little bit earlier, and I played with him my last season in Dallas. Joey Galloway was brought to Dallas, and Dallas gave up 2 #1 picks to get him, and he got hurt in the first game, but I certainly know what kind of speed this guy's got. He's got unbelievable speed, and the fact that they haven't been able to create a lot of big plays here in Tampa Bay with him really surprises me.
Bidwell, a former 4th-round pick by Green Bay, kicks it over the head of Chapman and into the end zone. So far in company, the Pack get it back, starting at their own 20, down by 4.
The front and rear pillars of the F-150 are insulated with heat-activated foam to reduce noise, making it as quiet as a luxury vehicle. A luxury vehicle that can tow 9,900 pounds.
48 degrees today in the Boston area, with some light clouds and possible late issue.
You guys have to go everywhere with me? Tom, we're figurative metaphors. What? We represent the 5 layers of Visa security that surround you in a pocket of protection.
Hi there.
Like fraud monitoring?
Verified by Visa.
Zero liability. Metaphors.
With Visa, you're protected.
Can metaphors pay? No.
2 letters. TV. Simple, right? Except these days there's HD TV, ED TV.
We could get an LCD TV.
If we don't get help, we'll end up with NO TV.
I guess you're just what I need.
The Extreme TV Makeover is going on now at Circuit City. All digital TVs $499 and up are on sale now. Plus no interest for 24 months on all TVs $499 and up. Circuit City.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. By Domino's and the new Steak Fanatic Pizza. Get the door, it's Domino's. By Madden NFL 2006 in stores now. And by Circuit City. For the hottest new technology, think Circuit City, just what I needed.
Packers have the ball. They trail by 4. Javon Walker last year had 7 receptions of 40 or more yards. And last season, 1,382 total yards, 12 touchdowns. He's on IR. Bubba Franks is inactive this week with a knee injury. And Favre goes over the middle, which is a vulnerable spot against this cover 2. Hits him on Green for 14 yards. We look back. Greasy dumped it to Galloway. First of 2 touchdown catches for Joey Galloway. 37-yarder to Ferguson on a 4th and 5. Galloway his 2nd touchdown. And then Antonio Chapman had one gunned to him by Favre for 20 yards and a touchdown. And here we are at 17-13 Tampa Bay. 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Green over the right side. Just crossed the 35, picked up 2.
Well, you're just starting to see Tampa Bay really start to clamp down on this offense for Green Bay. And, you know, they've got 11 guys that are within about 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. You can see them. These are safeties right here. They're the deepest guys on the field. And yet they're at about 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. And when you get a defense that's playing like that, you've got to be able to threaten them vertically, and that's where Javon Walker's missed.
Second down and 8. Over the middle, Martin. Did it surprise you how effusive Brett Favre was with his praise for David Martin. He said he hasn't been able to stay on the field. If he's hurt, he's hurt. But physically and talent-wise, he's got as much talent as any tight end he's ever played with.
And, you know, I mean, it's not like some guy who hadn't played with a lot of really great tight ends. Brett Favre played with Keith Jackson, of course, Mark Chmura during his great years while he was with Green Bay. And so he's just waiting for David Martin to kind of turn it on and show the ability that he knows that he's got.
Favre throws on the run, and the pass incomplete off the hands of Ferguson. And I think Brett Favre is getting a little frustrated with Robert Ferguson here in the second half.
Well, and I think that, you know, with some guys that are really system-type quarterbacks, and I don't think Brett Favre is one of those guys, that when you don't have talented guys around you, then it reflects on your quarterback, and he's going to struggle. Brett's never been that guy, so you can put players around him that maybe aren't all that gifted, but because of his ability to create, he's allowed the skill guys to get separation and make plays for him.
Davenport on a rare carry today on 2nd down and 10. Picks up 1. If you compare the two quarterbacks, Greasy and Favre, here are their numbers for the day. 2 touchdowns for Greasy, no interceptions. Favre has thrown 2. The quarterback rating is big for each. I guess it comes back to what we talked about at the top, the running game and what these two sides have been able to do.
That and the fact that this Green Bay defense has played well enough to keep the score down that's allowed Green Bay to run the ball even though they haven't run it all that effectively and then take the pressure off this passing game.
3rd down and 9. Pressure on Favre, and down he goes. Ryan Neese gets his first of the year. And the sack will bring up 4th down and bring B.J. Sander, the punter, onto the field. Monty Kiffin has been with Tampa Bay since '96. And Troy, from '97 on, this Tampa Bay defense has been in the top 10 at the end of the year every season.
And they do a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback, as they did there to Brett Favre. When an offense starts moving the ball, you can bet Monty Kiffin's going to bring pressure.
Good punt by Sander. Mark Jones from about the 10. Gets tackled by Hawkins, and Jones gets it up to the 21. An 11-yard return after a 50-yard punt. Tampa Bay with the ball.
Verizon Wireless welcomes you in, sweet.
You can now call any of our customers.
Customers as much as you want.
And text and pick them too.
Now that you're officially
in?
Celebrate.
Get in. Only Verizon Wireless offers unlimited in-calling plus unlimited text and pics for just $5 more a month. And when you buy an LG camera phone, you'll get an LG Color flip phone free. Join in and make calls on the nation's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
For thousands of years, mankind has known what lots of interior room can do for your spirit. A feeling so wonderful, we built an entire sedan around it. The Ford 500. More innovation from Ford. Built for the road ahead.
Imagine you're an NFL quarterback. It's snowing. You're down by 6. Playoff spots on the line. You're on the road. Your thumb is throbbing. You see the blitz coming. Still think you can play quarterback?
Madden NFL 2006.
Rated E for everyone.
Now on PSP, PlayStation Portable. EA Sports. It's in the game.
A mysterious disease is ravaging a man's body.
His hand is a cesspool.
But will the treatment destroy his life?
We are talking about cutting off a kid's hand.
Television's best drama takes a turn no one is expecting.
If you're wrong, he'll end up with no hands and no feet.
If I'm wrong, he'll end up dead.
House, all new at 9/8 Central, Fox Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
17-13, Tampa Bay with the ball. That's a Buccaneer version of the cheesehead here at Lambeau Field. A dangerous version. Oh, Greasy lost the ball. They're saying incomplete pass, and it certainly looked like his arm was going forward.
I agree, Joe. Good call there. You got the referee who watches the quarterback, and he saw it right away as well. He immediately stepped up, gave the incompletion sign. The arm has got to be moving forward with the ball in possession.
Ooh.
Well, wow.
So what looked to be initially a good call, that ball's out.
Yeah, that ball's out.
That should be a fumble. Is it reviewable? Yes, but the defense can't get the ball.
That's right. That's right, because once it was ruled incomplete, you can't then give the ball to the defensive side.
So Green Bay will challenge here. They're not going to get the ball, and that's going to disappoint the crowd here at Lambeau. But what it will do is move the ball back. You can get better field position for your club, meaning they can mark it back down behind the line of scrimmage as opposed to an incomplete pass. But the Buccaneers just got away with one. And Mike Sherman is being reminded he can't get the ball. He'll still challenge, and they'll get a new spot for the football.
Green Bay has challenged the ruling on the field that it was a forward pass.
But again, Green Bay cannot get the ball. Tampa Bay will maintain possession, and the ball will be back near their own 10-yard line.
It's uncensored.
What a gentleman.
Unrated. Uncut.
My name is Ron.
Okay, we get it. You're a guy. It's the never-before-seen DVD. Family Guy presents Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story. Only on DVD Tuesday.
Let's see how the jacked-up right guard extreme power stripe works now that it's 25% stronger. Let's say these guys are the power stripe.
Red Rover, we call T all over.
And this guy's odor. You do not want to be odor.
Get more extreme, get right guard.
While serving up chops and pounds of bologna, I get my NFL stats on my cellular phony.
The ends are in motion. The offense is shifting. I've been here so long, they think I'm shoplifting.
My wife can't believe I went to the store, but with NFL on Sprint, I won't miss a score.
Like a three-wheeled grocery cart.
Or a receiverless throw.
An aisle 9 without football?
Is not one I like to know.
Exclusive NFL content, only from the new Sprint.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Love your everyday purchases. With Love the Double from Chase. Love them because now they give you double. Double rewards. Double cash back. Double travel points. Double the stuff you love. Love the Double, only from Chase.
Sit down. What do you feel like doing now?
I want to sit down.
The Angus Shroom and Swiss, the ultimate sit-down burger.
It's a Green Bay challenge. We believe that the challenge will be upheld. The Packers won't get the ball, but they'll get a more favorable spot at the point where the ball comes out of the hand of Greasy.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Where the ball lands on the turf, right there is where the spot would be.
About the 14-yard line, 13 and a half, somewhere in there.
If Green Bay wins the challenge, which based on what we see here, they will. And, you know, it's called the tuck rule. And if anybody knows about the tuck rule, it's John Gruden over there in Tampa Bay.
He was on the bad side of it while with Oakland.
After review, the ball was in fact fumbled. However, by rule, when the whistle blew, the ball is dead at the 13.5-yard line. It belongs to Tampa Bay. Second down.
So the challenge works because it marches the ball back down to the 13.5, but this crowd is not satisfied because they think they're getting the ball.
Well, and I still go back to, as I do every week, why do you then rule, why would you ever rule a play incomplete when you can't go back and then give possession back to the team that should have had it? And they're talked to about that by Mike Pereira, the head of officiating, on both plays like this as well as fumbles.
Brings up second down and 17. They hand off to Cadillac Williams. I tell you, the crowd's into it, and this defense is fired up. They feel like the rule book just jumped up and bit them, and with under a minute to go, the It'll be 3rd down and long for the Buccaneers. They've got to get it to the 31. The ball is at their own 17.
You know, the one thing that I don't feel Tampa Bay's really done a good job of in this game is, yeah, they've tried to run the football with Cadillac Williams, but they really just haven't tried to take advantage of this secondary for Green Bay.
Cameron was offside. So in essence, a free play. And Cadillac Williams is going to fight for a 1st down. There are 2 markers down. It could be for the same foul. Cameron came across too soon.
Offside. Defense number 74. Penalties declined. 1st down.
So wait a minute. You're flipping on me? I told you they should throw the ball against the Green Bay.
I'm not flipping on you. Not when you got a runner like Cadillac Williams.
Okay.
I mean, look at the guy. Now, normally when you get an offsides from the defense in a situation like that as a quarterback, you take a deep shot down the field, but they had handed it off to Cadillac. And he picks up 20-something yards.
10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Cadillac over the left side. Picks up 3.
Come on, I wouldn't flip on it.
All right.
Come on.
We've got Festiva and Dodge Aries K with you from Lambeau Field. 4-point game back after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Reside in the black and blue division, the Central. And now you've got a team from the South taking on a team from the North. It's been a good game, fun game. 17-13. This crowd is still upset over that call that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not get credited with a fumble and lose the football inside their own 20. Instead, they keep the ball. They pick up a big 3rd down, and now they're faced with 2nd and 7. Greasy over the middle. The defender, Barnett, had fallen down, and Galloway has a 1st down for the Buccaneers.
Well, I tell you, it's a challenge when John Gruden spreads people out, and that's what he likes to do within this offensive system. And then he wants to get the matchups in his favor. And when Joey Galloway scored the touchdown in the middle of the field, it was that stutter move on Nick Barnett. And that time they're able to get that same isolation with Joey Galloway inside on Barnett. And that's hard on a linebacker.
AGB came across quick and makes the play in the backfield. He was close. He was close to coming across too early. They say he stayed onside and ends up making the play on Cadillac and a loss of 5.
AGB 94. He timed it just perfectly, and and then when you got Sean Mahan, the right guard, that's a hard block for an offensive lineman in space against Kabir Bajabiamila, and he was able to avoid the block by Mahan and then disrupt the timing and bring the ball carrier down.
2nd down and 15. Greasy has to take the Bucs' 1st time out of the half. 2nd and 15 when we come back. Tampa Bay leading the Packers by 4.
Can inspiration replace the typical small car with something that lives a little larger? More space, more function, more sizzle. America's best small car alternative just got a little better. The Chrysler PT Cruiser.
Now during Employee Pricing Plus, get a 2005 PT Cruiser for just $12,663.
To thank everybody for making Pizza Hut Pan Pizza America's favorite pan pizza for a quarter of a century, we thought we'd put a quarter under everybody's pillow.
What are you doing?
And then we had a better idea.
Yeah, give them a pan pizza for a quarter. Just buy any large specialty pizza at menu price and you'll get a medium one-topping original pan pizza for 25 cents. Golden, crunchy outside, soft and chewy inside, all for a quarter.
Next time I'll knock.
There's nothing else like it.
Look, anyone can try out, but not just anyone can make it.
Praise fans, fair!
You better get that label straight.
I don't tolerate imperfections.
Why'd you replace that beer, Smith? Because Miller Lite has great taste. Yes, sir.
You see, with great taste comes great responsibility. Tell me those aren't socks and sandals, Klein. A beer with character deserves a man with character. We have to reflect that.
Ineligible.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. By Energizer, keep going. By Pizza Hut, home of America's favorite pan pizza. Gather round the good stuff. And by FedEx Express, international shipping made easy.
My first Packer game and my first chance to boo live at Lambeau Field for that kid moments ago. A call that went against the Packers. Greasy out of the reach of Pittman, and a penalty flag comes in the area of a hold, and Anthony Davis gets up with his arms spread open saying, me? You calling that on me? Should be holding on 69.
And if it is, that's a couple for him already today.
Holding. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You know, Anthony Davis, again, just a young guy. And when you get out of position and you're going against Kabir Gbaja-Biamila, there's a tendency to want to hold. And right there, when he saw that KGB was going to get on the edge on him, the only thing he thought he could do, and it's just a natural instinct, and he'll learn over the years, you got to get your feet in better position.
On second down, what a play. That was Peterson right on the back of Cadillac Williams. As the catch was made, Kenny Peterson brought him down, no gain, and it is 3rd and forever for Tampa Bay.
Well, Green Bay has gotten Tampa in some of these situations. Of course, just on the last one, they're on 3rd and 24 when they ran the handoff to Cadillac Williams, and they were able to pick up the first down. And this is where this defense can't allow Tampa Bay to be able to do something here.
Secondary figures to be tested here. Instead, they hand off, and Green Bay was waiting for it. Cadillac is stalled, no gain. Kenny Peterson on the stop, a big series for Peterson, and a punt coming from the Buccaneers.
Well, I think that's a good job by Green Bay in holding them there, but I also think that was a good call by John Gruden. Instead of trying to force something up the field to convert the 3rd down, go ahead and punt. A lot of times people think a punt is a bad thing. When you've got the defense like Tampa Bay has, it's never a bad thing.
Bidwell hits an ugly one off the side of his foot, and it will check back outside the 30. Mark it at the 31. Decent field position for Green Bay. Offense hits the field, down 4.
This is astounding. 7 medals in a row. What's his secret? What's he doing so differently?
Still going. Energizer. Keeps going and going and going and going.
What is the power of inspiration? Can a car be beautiful and help keep you safe? Yes. Can a 5-star crash test rating give you confidence? Yes. Can a 340 horsepower Hemi give you fuel efficiency without sacrificing power with advanced MDS technology? It just did. The 2006 Chrysler 300.
Low monthly payments now available to qualified lessees of 2006 Chrysler 300. See your local dealer today for details.
Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
The crew of Serenity's newest passenger just might be more than they can handle.
So where's it written we gotta lay down our lives for her?
You want to run this ship?
Yes.
Well, you can't.
Serenity, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
So, Mr. Lee wants to know, what is the problem with our international shipment?
It seems the factories in China are having trouble with the customs clearance.
Any ideas? Come on. Somebody throw up a Hail Mary pass.
A Hail Mary pass, huh? Is that really what we're doing here? Just use FedEx. They make international shipping easy.
International shipping made easy.
Brian Greasy and Michael Clayton trying to figure out a way to open up the offense a little bit.
71's eligible. 71's over here on the left.
Who do you want to circle, Mr. Aikman?
Well, they got their U71 package. Kevin Berry there at tight end.
And a play in the backfield by Ryan Neese as he knifes through and takes down Ahman Green for a loss of 3. So much for the U71 package.
Yeah, well, you know what? It wasn't very effective there, and to Green Bay's dismay, it hasn't been real effective all season long, and they blocked up the front side, which is where the ball was intended to go, but they forgot to block Ryan Neese on the backside.
2nd down and 13. Favre going deep. Driver. Great play. Pass is intercepted. Picked off by Tampa Bay. Let's see who comes away with a football. Driver is fighting for it, but it ends up in the arms of Will Allen. Will Allen is filling in for the injured Dexter Jackson. And the second-year player comes away with a big pick.
Steven! I was just hungry.
Well, is dinner not good enough for you?
Sorry.
Oh, you're darn right you're sorry.
Everyone wants the new fresh toasted chicken Parmesan sandwich, zesty marinara, melted cheese, only at Subway restaurants.
I don't want to ever see us play the way we played last week.
No, sir.
Yes, Never. Sir. I didn't sleep good last week. You shouldn't have either. I'm going to do a better job Friday night, okay? Yes, sir. All right, let's go to work.
High school football is important because we're teaching boys to become men. Those men are going to be the husbands. They're the workers. They're the things what's going to drive America.
Come on, Joe.
State championships. State championships. What we looking for? State championships. Back this way. Come on.
One more time, ready.
Come on, you got to
better get out of here. You're going to get run over.
It's going to get tough, so you might as well learn that it's 4th down and inches all the time. It's 3 downs and plop all in your life. You got to keep your head up because you never know when you're going to break.
I'm not trying to wear you down. We're trying to get your legs ready for Friday night. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
We'll never see that again, right?
No, sir.
That's all I want to hear.
The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. Which one are you, son? Which one are you?
It's uncensored, uncut. Oh, God. It's the never-before-seen DVD. Family Guy presents Stewie Griffin, The Untold Story. Only on DVD Tuesday.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by NikeGridiron.com.
On 1st down, the Tampa Bay offense hands it to Cadillac Williams. Monty Kiffin, Troy, has forced Brett Favre to make some bad decisions over the years.
Well, you got Will Allen here at center field, and what they're going to try to do, they're going to try to get Donald Driver here down the middle. They've got Derek Brooks, who is on Donald Driver, and as you're going to see, Will Allen, he never gets to the middle of the field, and so he always has the range to get back over the top. Brett thought that he had great matchup with Derek Brooks, which he did, but he never looked Will Allen off the middle of the field in order to be able to get that throw. Will Allen will make that play every time.
2nd down and 7, and Cadillac Williams breaks free. Cadillac Williams down inside the 40 to the 35. And he is approaching a 100-yard day. If he gets it, he'll be the first in NFL history to rush for over 100 in his first 3 games.
Talking with John Gruden this week, he said the reason why we give Cadillac Williams the ball so many times, this being his 27th carry, is that eventually he's going to break one. We've seen the Green Bay Packers keep him bottled up throughout the first 3.5 quarters, and then here you are in the 4th, and this guy, and the numbers bear it out, he gets stronger as the game gets further along.
26 yards to take him over 100 for the day. First player in NFL history to do that over the century mark in his first 3 games in the history of the league. Why not give it right back to him? Pickup of 4, and we go to JB for a game break.
Hey, Joe Buck, change of pace at running back for the Falcons. The big bruiser, T.J. Duckett, straight up the gut, 12 yards to pay dirt. Third straight game with a touchdown run for Duckett. Falcons, Terry Bradshaw called it out in front, 24-16, that in the fourth. Back to Joe Buck.
Thank you, JB. Yankees open it up over Toronto 7-3 in the 8th inning. That's baseball. This is football. 2nd down and 7. Greasy. The pass is picked off. Intercepted by Carroll. Ahmad Carroll is down to the 36. Ahmad Carroll just took it off the body of the receiver, Michael Pittman. What a pick.
Well, and Brian Greasy knows he made a big mistake. And Brian Greasy last year at times in games when the game was on the line had mistakes like this. Grady Jackson chasing him. There was nobody there. Michael Pittman had no chance, really, of catching that ball. The ball was thrown behind him. In addition to that, Ahmad Carroll makes the interception, but Brian Greasy should have never attempted that throw. There was nobody to try to fit it to. Should have thrown that one out of the stands. Just a bad decision by Brian Greasy, and as a result, he puts the position with Green Bay in tremendous position right now on the field, going the other way.
They're inside Buccaneer territory.
A ruling on the field that the runner was not down by contact.
So the first Green Bay takeaway this season. They're not arguing about the interception. They're arguing that Pittman's body was in contact with Ahmad Carroll after the pick while he was on the ground. I don't think they'll win that challenge. Good field position for Green Bay.
It didn't come gentle into the world. Blacked out. Born with 2 fists in the wind. The new 6-speed Dyna Street Bob motorcycle. Let there be dark. Ride one now at your Harley-Davidson dealer.
Get the movie that's fun for everyone.
Yeah! Na, 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 na.
Whoops, Robin Williams is back.
Stick with me. I know this town like the back of my hand. Hey, that's new.
Robots on DVD Tuesday.
I didn't know I could do that.
BK is making NFL history. Now every Angus rapper scores a free day of NFL Sunday ticket from DirecTV.
Fox tomorrow.
The wing has been breached.
Don't miss the most explosive episode of this season.
Where's my daughter?
We have everything under control, Governor.
I hope you do.
Yes, man. I'm not going to hurt you.
Prison Break, all new at 9/8 Central tomorrow on Fox. Viewer discretion advised. Fox tonight. An epidemic breaks out on a new Simpsons.
I'm so itchy.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's a parent's worst nightmare.
Do you know if your sister is, active? She plays tennis sometimes.
On a new The War at Home. And get lost on a new Family Guy.
This is a wonderful place, and you're just using it to escape from your problems.
Meg's right there.
Plus, a new American Dad goes geek.
Good God. Who's manning the internet?
It all starts at 7/6 Central with a bonus Simpsons and King of the Hill tonight on Fox.
Favre and Greasy trade interceptions. Ahmad Carroll gets his first. He was covering Michael Pittman, and the challenge by Tampa Bay after Carroll gains possession of this football. I believe he is free and clear of the body of Michael Pittman, and right now the ball is at the Tampa Bay 32-yard line. We'll see if it stays there. I believe it will.
Yeah, we've not seen anything from the replays that we've been shown to suggest that there was contact after he had possession of the ball. I think it's going to be upheld as well.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. There was no down by contact after the possession. Tampa Bay is charged with a timeout. They're second.
So Tampa Bay has only one timeout left. They're leading by 4 at the moment. This is the first time the Packers offensively have started a possession in the opponent's territory, and that comes because they haven't had a takeaway up to this moment until the interception by Carroll and the lack of a big return game. But now they start with it at the Tampa Bay 32. They bring in Kevin Berry as an extra lineman. Amon Green picks his way through the right side with a first down. Out of bounds at the 19.
Joe, you talked about them bringing in Kevin Berry in their U71 package, and he's going to be blocking Greg Spires, and he gets him kicked out, and that's where Amon Green slides underneath. But that was the key block there by 71 Kevin Berry that freed up Amon Green.
13-yard run by Green. That's his longest of the year. First down, Favre keeps it, flips it. Henderson, what a good open field tackle by Barber.
It's a good point, Joe, because the one thing about this Tampa Bay defense, I mean, they're a talented group and they run very well, but the thing that they have always been able to do, and that's tackle, and especially at the corner position. I mean, it's one thing for Derek Brooks and Shelton Quarles and those type guys to be great tacklers, but Rondé Barber and Brian Kelly are great tacklers as well. And if you're going to play defense in Monty Kiffin's system, you better be one of those.
Berry was back in there on 2nd and 10, and it's about to be 2nd and 15.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Well, those are the penalties that just really kill you. I mean, it's hard. It is hard to move the football against anybody, and it's especially difficult when you're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and when you finally start getting a little bit of momentum going in your direction, and then you have a penalty that sets you back. 2nd and 15 is very difficult. If Tampa Bay can hold Green Bay to a field goal here, it will be a win for Tampa Bay.
Throws, the pass is caught by Ferguson. And Robert Ferguson steps up and makes a tough catch at the 14.
You're right, Joe. That was not an easy catch whatsoever. Robert Ferguson has had him a pretty good day here today, and you know that was a key catch as well, because now it gets them in at least a manageable position here on 3rd down, and one in which they may be able to convert. Jerron Bolden, John Gruden told us earlier in the week that if we're going to be a great defense, Jerron Bolden has got to be a good player for us, and he was playing awfully soft on that play.
3rd and 5. Timeout Green Bay. Play clock was down to 4. And number 4 called timeout, first of the half, taken by Green Bay. 3rd down and 5. When we come back, Green Bay on the move, down by 4.
Good seeing you, man. Always good to see you.
Oh, best friend. Give me one good reason why you do that.
How about 6?
Hey!
Bud Light, great taste for your great times.
Come on, baby. I think we lost him.
Well, it wasn't until Hurricane Charlie was over the real danger began.
I'm State Farm Agent Dan Mann, and this is a true story.
I'm a diabetic, and so when the power goes out, that's real bad.
His insulin had to stay cold.
He brought me ice.
Plus a check for emergency living expenses.
Before my neighbor even heard from his insurance company. And with all the thousands of people that needed help down here, I felt like they're only one.
When you need someone most, nobody takes care of you like State Farm.
We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So, Mr. Lee wants to know, what is the problem with our international shipment?
It seems the factories in China are having trouble with the customs clearance.
Any ideas? Come on. Somebody throw up a Hail Mary pass.
A Hail Mary pass, huh? Is that really what we're doing here? Just use FedEx. They make international shipping easy.
FedEx, international shipping made easy.
Brett Favre will tell you that more than any defense in the NFL, the defense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers reads the eyes of the quarterback to see where he's going to go with the ball. And on 3rd down and 5, to this point, there's no bigger down in this game today.
No, this is a key down, and in terms of Tampa Bay looking at his eyes, that's when you can use it to your advantage. And the other thing you'd like to be able to use it to your advantage is Bubba Franks, and he's not suited up today, as you can see, but he's typically the real weapon for this team down in this area,
especially against a cover 2 where the middle of the field can be open. 3rd down and 5. Favre over the middle, and Quarles knocked it down. Favre was going to try and jam it into the gut of Robert Ferguson, and Quarles knocked it to the ground.
Well, Brett Favre knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football. You're right, Joe. He was working Ferguson inside, and he had him. Ferguson had inside leverage, and he was running an inside breaking route. And if Sheldon Quarles doesn't jump up and get his hands on the ball there, they probably complete this one. That's a good job by Sheldon Quarles, just recognizing the throw and getting the play on it.
32-yard try for Longwell, whose 2 misses in the game are the difference. Another low snap. Sander does a good job to get it up, and Longwell gets it through. Because of a missed extra point and a missed 42-yard try at the other end of the field, Tampa Bay is still leading this game by 1. These are the misses by Longwell. These are the difference in the game, specifically the missed extra point. Snap was a little high on a wet day, and then the 42-yard try yanked because of those 2 misses. Instead of Green Bay leading by 3, they're trailing by 1.
Well, and so many times as coaches or other people, and you focus on the offense and the defense, and then you have the miscues in the special teams part of it, and that's a really key element in any ball game. And as we've seen here today, the impact that it's had. If Green Bay were able to convert those, then they would be leading here with just over 7 minutes to play.
We watched Green Bay practice yesterday inside the Hudson Center, and they had one of the equipment managers rubbing the football down with a sponge, a wet sponge. And that's how they ran their offense, with a wet football, knowing that the forecast was for rain all day today. And there's no doubt that that slick football has played a part in what's happened with the kicking game, and Ryan Longwell in particular. Torrey Cox will take it from inside the end zone. Penalty flag comes in as Cox gets it out to the 22. After the call, we'll give you a game break. Looks like it's going to cost the Buccaneers some yards.
Well, you said that there's been a penalty on every kickoff, and there has been a
return. Personal foul, low block, number 32 of the return team.
That's on Michael Pittman, half the distance to the goal line. Ball inside the 10. Here's JB.
Hey, Joe Buck, showing you what the Indianapolis Colts did today. On the ground, Edgerrin James, 108 yards on 27 carries. Colts win at 13-6, improved to 3-0. Peyton Manning with just 2 touchdown tosses on the season. Wow, Troy. Back to Joe Buck.
Hand off to Cadillac. Williams will bounce it outside. Penalty flag comes flying in. Williams has enough for a first down, but this looks like a hold on the Buccaneers.
Well, that flag came in from a long way away, too.
Came out of the secondary. The back judge threw it.
Holding. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Look at Allstott, who was out leading the play. Like
Allstott playing at fullback, and you see him engaged with Al Harris, gets his jersey, sure does, and that's what the official saw. And that's why Cadillac Williams was able to get onto the edge. That doesn't happen if Mike Allstott's not holding Al Harris.
How about the second half of this offense of the Buccaneers? 3 punts and an interception. Williams to the 10. Niall Diggs on the tackle, a gain of 2.
You know, you get into a game like this, especially now with just over 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, a close ball game, Tampa Bay just up by 1, and every single play becomes extremely important. Every single penalty becomes very, very critical. And so every player on the field, both offensively and defensively, has to really focus and literally take it one play at a time. Each one is vital.
Second and 10. Greasy steps into the throw. Galloway. And they're going to throw a flag. It ends up in the face of Al Harris. The flag literally hit Al Harris in the face mask. And it appears to be pass interference on number 31.
That's what they're going to get. This was an underthrown ball, and it's the hardest thing to play for a corner when you've got a guy of Joey Galloway's speed running a vertical route. And then Al Harris on an underthrown ball is in his chest.
Brings up third down.
They pulled it back. They threw the flag and picked it up.
I think that was a bad call. I think they were right the first time. It was underthrown. Joey Galloway started to come back to make a play. Al Harris definitely got his hands on Joey Galloway. He did get his head turned, but I thought it was clearly pass interference.
Favre is trying to crank up this crowd. Gruden has got to be wondering what's going on over on the other sideline. The officials picked up the flag. Third and 10. Greasy fires behind Clayton. Fourth down. Tell you what, Mike Hawkins has been busy, the rookie corner, and he was guarding Clayton, and that pass was way behind number 80.
Not a real good throw there, Brian Greasy. Not a real good series for Brian Greasy. Even on the ball that we thought was pass interference, an underthrown ball, he had Clayton on the crossing route there against a rookie, but the ball got away from him.
It hadn't been a good half for Brian Greasy in this Tampa Bay offense. Bidwell's had a good day. He needs a good one here. And he gets one off. Hangs it high. Chapman from inside the 45. And he takes it back into Green Bay territory. The late games next week. Should be a fun weekend and a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Kansas City hosting Philadelphia. Dallas and Oakland. Minnesota, Atlanta. Some big matchups late next Sunday right here on Fox.
That's a heck of a matchup that we're going to go see. Kansas City and Philadelphia. Should be exciting. Some of the best fans in the National Football League in Kansas City.
Philadelphia trying to go to 2-1 today. Kansas City on Monday night will try to get to 3-0.
Well, if you're Tampa Bay defensively, this is where you earn your money. I mean, they know what's at stake. They want to try to hold them right here and not give them the opportunity to try to kick the field goal. If you're Green Bay, certainly you want to score a touchdown, but your first priority is trying to get enough yards to at least give yourselves a chance to attempt a field goal.
Green Bay 2 timeouts left. Tampa Bay with 1. Favre slings it and nearly threw it into the arms. Well, he did. Of Derek Brooks, but Brooks could not catch that 98-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, when you've got flow to that side and Derek Brooks's reads are going to lead him to his left, and then you've got a slant in behind him. A lot of times as a quarterback, you want to throw it off of his helmet. But Brett Favre never even sees Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks had a chance. I mean, he's returned a bunch of touchdowns, 7 over the course of his career for touchdowns, and he could have had one there.
Third down and 8. Favre off his back foot down the sideline. The fight for the ball, and it's picked off again. intercepted. That's Will Allen for the second time in this half. And the Bucs are looking for a flag along the sideline for a late hit. Ferguson was the intended receiver. The ball was knocked around. Bolden was there, and it's Allen who gets the interception.
Well, Ferguson tried to go up to make a play. Jerron Bolden got his hands on it. Will Allen, he has just shown unbelievable range from that middle safety position to get over the top and then be there to pick up the interception. That's not a ball as a quarterback if you're Brett Favre. When you throw it, you give your guy an opportunity, but the last thing you expect to have happen is an interception.
Allen, a fourth-round pick last year out of Ohio State, 2 second-half interceptions. Favre with 3 picks on the day, and here's where the ability to run the ball can really pay off. Cadillac Williams crosses the 35. He's knocked down at the 37. Nick Barnett on the tackle, a gain of 6.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to look back to last week when he threw one up to Robert Ferguson and it got intercepted in the Cleveland game. The first 2 interceptions that Brett Favre threw today were his fault. This one was not. And you give your offensive player a chance to go up and make a play, and he did give him the chance. It was just a bobbled ball that got up in the air, and Will Allen came over the top, but that was not a poor decision or a poor throw by Brett Favre.
Second down and 4. Cadillac Williams picks up 4 and a first down for Tampa Bay. Let's take a ride with Cadillac. NFL history made today. Cadillac Williams, the first back in the history of the league to rush for over 100 yards in his first 3 games. And as far as total rushing yards, only Alan Amici has more from 1955, and that is certainly well within reach. This drive should feature a lot of Williams, who Gruden says is one of the best conditioned athletes on his team. Amici from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Cadillac is on his heels as he breaks through. Got out of the tackle of Nick Barnett and picks up 3.
Well, this is when you try to ice the game if you're Tampa Bay offensively. I think we've got to go back and acknowledge the job that this Tampa Bay defense did on that last possession. For them to be stuck at the 50-yard line and trying to keep Green Bay from going down the field and getting in field goal range, Monty Kiffin and those defensive players did a heck of a job of creating a turnover, giving it back to their offense. And now, if you're a good offense, you drive the ball down the field and you don't give Green Bay another opportunity. If you're a good defense, this is where you step up and you get the ball back for your offense.
Second and 6, 2 timeouts left for the Packers. More Cadillac. They know what they're going to do. That brings up 3rd down, and Green Bay will take a timeout. So 2:59 remaining. It'll be 3rd down for Tampa Bay.
Now, this is a very critical 3rd down now for Green Bay in order to stop them and get the ball back to their offense. But Tampa Bay has been very successful here today on 3rd down, converting 50%.
Let's go for a game break. Here's JB.
Well, speaking of successful, Steve Smith has had a very successful day. Take a look at Jake Delhomme hooking up here on a quick post to Steve Smith. He takes it 53 yards to pay dirt. 3 touchdowns on a day for Steve Smith. 11 catches, 170 yards to boot as well. All tied at 24 late in the 4th. Back to Joe Buck.
JB, you think they missed Steve Smith last year?
Well, they missed a lot of people, huh? They lose Steve Smith. They lose Deshaun Foster. And they had some problems there with Stephen Davis. And yet they still were arguably the hottest team at the end of last year.
How about this? 3rd and 3. A first down here would go a long way to getting you a win at Lambeau for the first time since 1989. And Cadillac Williams is out of the game. They're going to throw. Over the middle. Pass is caught by Hilliard. And that might ice this game. Hilliard with a catch. First down at the Green Bay 46.
Well, Ike Hilliard, the 9th-year veteran that they brought in from the New York Giants, and they really like this guy. I mean, his strengths is his ability to run inside routes and get separation. That time he's working on Ahmad Carroll, and boy, if you ever needed a guy to be able to make a play, he made one there, and Brian Greasy hung in the pocket and was able to convert that third down.
So now you've got a first down at the 46. 2:51 left, but no timeouts remaining for Green Bay. And these two teams battling here with the Buccaneers trying to go to 3-0, and as I mentioned, get their first win here at Lambeau Field since 1989.
Well, and if you're Green Bay right now, the only thing you can try to do is strip the ball, from the ball carrier. And the reason that Cadillac Williams wasn't in there on third down is because he has not really been much of a receiver for this team, nor is he much of a pass blocker. So they pull him out on third down. He's in the game now, however, and that says a lot about what they think of him, because knowing that Green Bay is going to try to be ripping the ball out of his hands, they have the confidence in a rookie in just his third game that he'll protect the ball.
He gets it here. Wisely stays in bounds. He was headed out of bounds, and something clicked, and he said, oh, I'm going to stay in and let the clock run.
I mean, I've been impressed with him, watching him on film over his first 2 games, but you watch him live, and he's just got a maturity about him that most young players don't have. And you're exactly right, Joe. Just having the knowledge of the situation and to stay in bounds, not try to get any more yards. The most important thing right now is taking time off the clock, and Cadillac Williams understands that.
Second down and 5. 2-minute warning coming up. Cadillac Williams, another first down and more. Williams lays down inside the 20. He stayed in bounds again. The clock was going to stop anyway at the 2-minute warning. But he has got it all. Power, speed, elusiveness, security with a football, and smarts. Tampa Bay on their way to a 3-0 start.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL.
Sprint Business is reinventing the yes man, turning the yes man into someone who can work from almost anywhere. And now that Sprint and Nextel have come together, you can work in and out of the office more efficiently, the way 96% of the Fortune 1000 already do. So saying yes from just about anywhere with speed and confidence makes me a yes man. I'm a yes man.
With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Yes, you can.
Chrysler Town & Country, with the exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage system. There when you need it, not there when you don't.
Now during Employee Pricing Plus, get a 2005 Town & Country for just $17,908.
Hey, Michael. Hey, you remember my little sister, Tina?
Look at you, girl, all grown up and looking fine. How about a Bud Light?
Sounds good. You can't buy a Bud Light. Why not? She my sister. I'll buy you a Bud Light if you don't get her a Bud Light.
What? Yeah, man, I don't know.
I'll buy you 2 Bud Lights if you don't get her a Bud Light.
All right.
Anything for the smooth taste of Bud Light. Great taste for your great times.
What? The clock will wind. Green Bay without any timeouts remaining. The last time they started 0-3. Brett Favre was a sophomore at Southern Miss. That was in 1988. Now, the last time the Buccaneers won here at Lambeau, 1989, and John Gruden, he said, Jiminy Christmas, I don't even remember where I was.
Well, let us remind him.
He was the tight ends coach at the University of the Pacific.
Are you sure? Are you sure he was tight ends coach?
He was, I think, 11 at the time. Cadillac Williams runs into a wall, lost a yard. Cadillac Williams has officially passed Amici and now has the most rushing yardage in the history of the NFL for his first 3 games. He's at 430.
Joey had 51 carries over his first 2 ball games. He comes into this game, he's now got 36 carries on the day today, and this is after he injured his foot in last week's game, did not practice all week long, and there was some concern coming into this game as far as his workload, and he has shown an ability to continue to pound the football, and as we talked about, he just gets better and better as the game wears on.
Kneel down time. 1989, what were you doing in that very important year in your life?
Well, I was on my way to an 0-11 rookie year.
And that was when Bette Midler gave us the record of the year, Wind Beneath My Wings, which I know was a big anthem for you and the Cowboys back in 1989.
Yeah, it used to make me feel better when I'd get home and turn off the phones and not talk to anybody. What a heck of a job there Monty Kiffin has done today. And I mean, just a heck of a football coach. And John Gruden, obviously, he does a great job. But this entire staff, Bill Muir, the offensive line coach, the job that he's done. And they had a heck of a ball game today.
That's the voice of Troy Aikman. I'm Joe Buck, our producer Richie Zients, our director Artie Kempner. Our thanks to Mike Notaro, who fills in for Ed Sfida as our statistician, Dave Schwalbe, our spotter. And as the seconds tick away, Troy, a 3-0 team is about to head back to Tampa, Florida, and an 0-3 team is going to face a long week of questions here in Green Bay. The Pack 0-3 for the first time since 1988. Atlanta and Buffalo. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, and Chris Myers. It's all yours.
Those of you who have been watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers